unimaginably seemed impossible. They described it as literally the mothership, looking like the mothership from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, if any of you ever seen that movie, remember the very end, this huge mini city floating in the sky and turns upside down. Guess what we caught in Romania in 2022? By the way, the U.S. Embassy. Now, behind the scenes. As literally the mothership. The mothership. Now, whistleblowers. Not behind the scenes. Now, whistleblowers. Not behind the scenes. Now, whistleblowers. As literally the mothership. The mothership. Not behind the scenes. Not behind the scenes. Not behind the scenes.
Elizondo.
I'm an intel guy.
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 Mothership, the 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 mothership.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. So today is the day of the big UFO hearing, and as I properly predicted yesterday, we got about as much evidence as I predicted. But further, some of my other predictions came true, like Michael Schellenberger will hide behind his journalist shield and refuse to divulge who's giving him all this information. But there are quite a few clues, especially in this document that was released today. And of course, we had Lou Elizondo, the fake Pentagon UFO program director, who's shilling to sell a book. Great job. I mean, he's a master manipulator. He's literally manipulating members of our elected government to help him sell a book full of bullshit. The gentleman from NASA, I just kind of give a pass to. I think his testimony is mostly worthless. May have been thrown in there to add legitimacy to this thing, since we've got Michael Schellenberger, who's been shilling for UFO grifters, feeding him information to sell Substack subscriptions, very expensive, to get his exclusive reporting on UFOs. And of course, we've got Lou Elizondo, who's about as credible as a crackhead and believable as a crackhead, given the number of times he's been caught lying. We saw in the wonderful introduction here by Simon Fly. I haven't had a new piece from Simon Fly. Welcome back, Simon Fly. Most recently, Lou Elizondo is selling fake UFO pictures of a mothership, well, claimed alleged mothership, at paid speaking engagements. If this sounds like a circus to you, you would be correct in, assuming that this is a circus. But the circus gets deeper, because just when you thought it can't get any more circus, wow. So members of my elected government helped UFO grifters grift and add legitimacy to their claims. After all, they're testifying before Congress as experts on UFOs, right? So we've got Tim Gallaudet, whose daughter talks to dead people. You know, she can communicate with your dead relatives, I guess, and he sees spirits and demons. By the way, regardless of what I think of some other shows, I know that Project Unity, there was an interview of him, and he spoke very, very highly of Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. And then after Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick wouldn't give him a job, apparently now that person is a disinformation agent running psyops on him. You know, we've had during the hearing, we've got Lou Elizondo not naming her, but all but naming her, claiming that Susan Goff is an information psyop person, And wow, man, this has been one big circus. I want to share my screen here and cite fair use, because the circus it apparently it it just gets worse and worse. Because here's a part of the circus. One second here. Here we go. Here's a part of the circus, my friends, and that is that Nancy Mace, who ran the hearing, is now selling UFO t-shirts. Like, as if this couldn't get any more stupid. This whole fake government, yeah, let's get disclosure about aliens. Nancy Mace just helped a proven lying UFO grifter who's lied about his resume in order to sell books and get TV show deals, documentary deals. Um, has helped him legitimize himself. After all, hey, he's testifying before Congress. He's a UFO expert, former government employee. Except while he was a government employee, he had no assigned responsibilities around UFOs. He just had a hobby. And he called himself the director of a $22 million program in that original New York Times article. Turns out that was a lie. Even he admits it wasn't a funded program or an official program, and more of an activity, as he admitted in his ICIG complaint. So we've got members of Congress are helping a UFO grifter who's been lying to the public for, oh, I don't know, 7-8 years now about his resume in order to get the gig, selling, being a former government UFO expert. And why is a former government UFO expert selling people fake pictures of motherships? Doesn't he have some standards of evidence if he's such an expert? And if he's an expert, wouldn't he know that photo was fake? But here he is testifying before Congress. And the woman who's helping him do that is now cashing in on UFOs herself. So people get mad at me when I say that people are here for money. UFOs, it's a great gig if you can get it. You could buy the book, but maybe not from me. It's incredible. This whole thing is shocking to me. And I guess I need a group counseling session. So, against my better judgment, I have decided to open up the show for a rare panel show. We used to do these all the time, but then we start having, let's just say, problems with them. And by the way, before we begin, I want to thank UFO Shane for us starting late. He told me that my microphone was all screwed up. I don't think so. Thanks, UFO Shane. Let me stop my screen here. And this new software that we have allows up to 12 panel participants besides me, I believe. So we're going to start off with probably the worst guest that we'll have tonight, the totally starting at the bottom of the barrel. And by the way, in order to join the show, linked in the YouTube live chat is a link where you can join into the show. This is the first time that we've done a panel show with this new software, so you'll forgive me if we have technical difficulties. I don't know if everything's going to work out okay, but I'm fairly certain it will. So we'll begin our journey by bringing UFO Shane here, ruiner of good, showtime starting. Welcome, UFO Shane.
Yeah, man, my bad. I work for the deep state. Michael Schellberger messaged me before this.
No,
He was
just so everybody knows. UFO Shane comes in like 4 minutes to showtime, and I had other things to do, and he says, "Oh, your microphone's super choppy. Something's wrong with it." And I go, "No, Shane, I don't think so. I think it's okay. It's probably your end." And he goes, "No, man, let me get back in." He goes out and comes back. "Oh, no, it's still choppy, Steven. There's something wrong with your microphone." So, of course, this forces me to go start a new studio, test the microphone, and then things got all screwed up. So thank you, Shane.
No problem, man. That's what I do,
always
man.
work with these total professionals. But, it's my fault because, no offense, Shane, but you have the technical expertise of, like, my grandmother. Why should I listen to you when you say there's something? It was my fault, friends. But, so some interesting discussions taking place in your space earlier today about this document that was released, and people, I think, are rightly speculating that document came from the UAPTF, which was the group headed by wackadoos like Dave Grush, ran by wackadoos like Dave Grush and Jay Stratton and others, and Travis Taylor, that totally misidentified everything that they studied and investigated. And every UFO that they looked into, basically, it's aliens. They missed the Chinese spy balloons. Many people have speculated that they're the people who have leaked these government videos to Corbell. Another member of that group came out and said people are leaking these things to Corbell, but they're not unidentified. They are identified. Now we've got this document. It's one big circle. I call it a circle jerk. You call it a circle of confirmation. It's the same group of people. It's the same group of people over and over again involved with this, Shane. The same group.
Yeah, it always is, and it's just really sad because it's so obvious. It's so on the nose, right?
Oh,
like, I mean, you listen
yeah,
to anyone's story.
Let me welcome in our other panel member. I apologize here. We've got Orc War Chief Reviews, and I think there's a way that you can give yourself an avatar. It's just those two little dots and change avatar if you wish. Welcome, Orc War Chief Reviews. He's probably unmuting his microphone or something. So go ahead, Shane. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. But yeah, it's a shame, really, how ridiculous this is getting. But I will say, you got to see, like, because they normally do this behind closed doors, you know.
Yeah, we can hear you, but Shane was speaking. You can't hear Shane speaking? Oh, this is going to be a great show. I can just tell.
Very fun time. But yeah, like I was saying, normally they would do this behind closed doors, right? So you got to actually see them shill their garbage, like in front of Congress, wasting our tax dollars to do it now. You know, like normally they'd go behind the scenes and talk to these people. I mean, obviously they are. I mean, Nancy Mace is selling T-shirts from China for $25 a piece with a UFO logo on it, which is great. You know, and then, you know, you just know that this Immaculate Constellation report's going to come back to somebody that's also a part of the circle, like not even new witnesses. It's all the same people. It's always the same people, always chilling the same garbage.
Okay. Are you hearing that repeating? Oh, man.
I do.
Yeah, you have to wear headphones if you want to join the discussion tonight. Otherwise, we get this loop back feedback. All right. So I was going to share my screen. I will share this. The only mainstream reporter that is accurately, in my view, reporting accurately on this same group of people over and over again is the New York Post's Stephen Greenstreet. Everybody else, I think, they're just shilling the story and they don't get it right. 1 second. Let me add this. This is Greenstreet talking about a small group of individuals in the grip of a rumor-based religion and how it's all the same circle of people.
The same group of people who have been doing this for years now.
Yeah, and let's
doing this for years now.
Take a look at that graphic, right? Because now I guess we lost UFO Shane. Jeez, this is going to go great. All right, 1 second here. So the same group of people have been doing this forever. And I can't say I do not agree with that, because during this hearing, of course, there was paperwork submitted that included stuff from Kit Green, Christopher Mellon, Hal Puthoff, Lou Elizondo was mentioned in that document. We've got UAPTF mentioned, and Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton were a part of that, right? And of course, David Grush was mentioned in the hearing. Yeah, same group of people. Jeremy Corbell got thanked by Timothy Burchett. You know, oh, thanks for. And by the way, I gotta rewind it and listen again. But I swear that Tim Burchett, an elected lawmaker, said, "Oh, thanks to my friend Jeremy Corbell for getting us these whistleblowers." So now, a proven hoaxer who's been selling a fake story about a convicted pimp fake scientist who claimed to work on alien spaceships at Area 51 for years is now the person who is booking the congressional witnesses for my government, the same guy who's leaking possibly classified information from his inside government sources. Like, did I just wake up in Clownville? Like, how is this all even happening? I don't know. And just a mention that we're trying, at least, I apologize if we're having technical issues, to open the show to anybody who wants to join. There is a link in the YouTube live chat where you can join the panel, but you have to wear headphones or you will echo and people will complain and nobody can hear each other and it's a mess. So please just wear headphones if you decide to join the panel. And the link to do so is in the live chat on our YouTube channel. So same group of people over and over and over again involved with these issues. And I also, shared some other things earlier, which I found really funny. So the audience in this congressional hearing was filled with people who have a financial interest in UFOs. And I joked on my Twitter, but it's true. You can go through the video that one of those organizations posted, and what you see is that many of the people in this audience, you can pick them out for yourself, are directly tied to a for-profit company or a for-profit UFO group or a non-profit UFO group that, in my opinion, those are for profit too. It's just, it's a charity somehow. And as we pan through this, this guy's from the New Paradigm Institute, the guy in the back with the white hair. We've got a podcaster that does a UFO podcast and full time, not just a hobbyist or a part-time guy. So he has a vested financial interest in promoting alien space monsters, right? And here we've got some known faces. There's Leslie Kean, who originated all this UAP stuff and lied to the New York Times. We've got another YouTube content creator and another YouTube content creator that make their full-time living selling UFO and alien fairy tales with zero evidence, right? And as we continue to pan through, there's Ryan Graves and another person that make their full-time living. There's this Lester Nair, this guy who is a member of one of those, UFO disclosure groups. There's so many people in this quick pan around that we can determine these people have a vested financial interest in promoting alien space monsters, and our government is inviting them into the halls of Congress. Welcome, all you UFO profiteers. Nobody has any evidence, though. Is this not relevant? How many times during this hearing where people ask for evidence, they don't have it, or they have very scant evidence, or I would say a incredibly weak hand? Tim Gallaudet, he's a Navy Rear Admiral, who's also a wackadoo, but that's besides the point, is asked for his best evidence of USOs, and he talks about a sensor radar anomaly from 1980 was that case. And just as I predicted, some of these people have just a vested fight. As I predicted, they don't have any evidence. What can you share with us today? Elizondo kept hiding behind NDAs, classifications. And of course, the true believers are in this situation where they could have that information and maybe it's classified. This is how tired. Isn't anybody else tired of the "it's classified, I can't tell you, but I know it's true" excuse? How long are we going to let these people keep doing that? And remember, when Grush testified more than a year ago, he claimed that he would give all of this information to people in a skiff or in a closed session. And it's been more than a year. So I guess none of the information he gave them panned out, or some of it would have leaked. Because, friends, if you don't think that the greatest secret of humanity and smoking gun evidence or proof that the government really has alien spacecraft and bodies, and somebody gave members of Congress that smoking gun proof that would have leaked out in the past year? It's one big circle jerk. So we've got the same group of people, many of which have a financial interest in this situation, right? A lot of people making money off of UFOs in this audience. And interestingly, in a Spaces earlier, somebody actually said that some of these UFO celebrities, high-profile UFO celebrities, paid homeless people to sit in line so that they could get a seat. I'm going to say that again. Some of them paid homeless people to sit in line and then jumped in the line at the last minute. That's a single source. Somebody said it on Twitter. Maybe it's rumors and speculation. Take from that what you will. And of course, we've got Nancy Mace, the woman who ran this hearing, is right now selling UFO t-shirts for $25. I just am left in awe of the fact that it's this. First of all, it's the same group of people. And by the way, I should have put my fair use banner up when I played this video that we just shared with you, because this is a transformative work. We're educating the public, and we're critiquing the video we are sharing. This is covered under fair use and certainly allowable by law. So I've got more to share with you, of course. Some people made some interesting observations. And why is it that Lou Elizondo can't get his story straight, right? He has continually claimed he was never a part of OSAP. Today, he said he was a part of OSAP. Wow. And I'm looking for that clip right now. But before we get to that, I just want to address this one piece of the puzzle here, and that is that for years and decades now, I have heard people claim that these UFOs. There's always these key phrases that these grifters use. First of all, they say these UFOs, they defy the laws of physics, or this can't be, this technology is so far ahead of our own technology, or they exhibit flight characteristics that are thousands of years ahead of our own capabilities, or these various talking points. And one of them is that these technologies can outperform anything we have in our inventory. That's another long used talking point. And let's be clear, it's a talking point. But the problem comes in when you ask people for proof of the talking point. And I'm going to get to that. I see we have Sleazy here in our back room. We'll get to you right after this very short clip. So again, this is a transformative work. We're educating the public. 1 second here. Here's Lou Elizondo making a huge, fantastic claim.
We're talking about technologies that can outperform anything we have in our inventory. And if this was an adversarial technology, this would be an intelligence failure eclipsing that of 9/11 by an order of magnitude.
Okay, so his argument is that these technologies outperform anything we have in our arsenal. Where is his data that supports that? Remember, this is the same guy that claimed the Go Fast was doing what? Subsonic speeds or thousands of miles an hour? And it turns out that this man can't do basic math, because anybody that could do basic math could take the sensor data on the screen of that video and find out through trigonometry, very simple, like first year college level math, that the Go Fast was doing 40 miles an hour. Now we have to take this into context. This guy is saying that these things outperform anything we have in our arsenal. But this is the same guy who said that likely a balloon that was actually doing 40 miles an hour was doing 1,000 miles an hour. Some UFO expert from the government. But the truth is, he never was a UFO expert for the government. He is the UFO director of a Pentagon UFO program from the land of make-believe. The program that he claimed to run never existed officially, was not funded. He admitted it himself in the paperwork he submitted in his Inspector General complaint, crying that people aren't helping him grift to sell UFO shit to stupid people, right? He actually made a complaint to the government. These people said I never ran that program that I never ran. And interesting that he's here saying this, that these things are, let me hear it again.
We're talking about technologies that can outperform anything we have in our inventory.
We're talking about technologies that can outperform anything we have in our inventory. Where is your sensor data that confirms that? Where is the radar tapes? Where is the, I don't know, radar? Can't you tell through the sensor data if something, it can go faster than any of our planes? I would think so. And yet this argument has been used for decades. These things, they defy the laws of physics. And Eric Weinstein famously said, show me a physicist that agrees with that statement and show me the evidence that the physicist used to come to that conclusion. You can't, and you won't, because they don't have any evidence. It's just research by proclamation. These things outperform anything we have in our arsenal. Yeah, coming from the same guy who thought he had a picture of a goddamn mothership that turned out to be a chandelier. This man is an expert. This man is a dancing clown, right? And every time I see Lou Elizondo, I think of that guy. You ever been to some place where there's like a gentleman's club and there's a guy outside? I don't know what that guy's official title is, but they stand there and they go, live nude girls, come on inside. Every time I see Lou Elizondo, what I think of is that guy. Like, aliens and UFOs, come on inside. And then you pay your money and it's a big disappointment. That's what he is. He is one huge, big disappointment who has been caught lying to the American public over and over and over again. And yet somehow he's, right as he's selling a book, like not coincidentally at all, right as he's trying to sell his book, he gets called into Congress as some kind of an expert. What is he an expert on? How to lie to people and pretend that you ran a government program you never ran? All right, we're going to bring in our guest here. Welcome, Sleazy. Can you hear me? Oh, these panel shows. This is why we don't do them. So people join, then they just walk away. I don't know what's happening here. All right, we'll come back, see if he woke up or whatever. In the meantime, I am going to take comments and questions here from the live chat. Comments and questions for me in the live chat, please put them in all capital letters, and I will be happy to address your comments and questions. I've got more to share, but I thought we could just kind of go through. And while we're at it, we'll catch up on the super chats. For those unaware, we read every single super chat. We thank every single person that sends a super chat or any support our way. If you become a member, we also shout you out. Talmud just became a member. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. And I will furiously go through the live chat and call these out. Talmud gifted a membership, and this is why you should subscribe. Smash the subscribe button now. You might get a free membership, because people who are in the live chat, when somebody gifts a free membership, it gets randomly distributed to somebody in the live chat that is a subscriber but not yet a member. And a beneficiary of Talmud's generosity today was Dave's Waffle House, who just became a Praise the Cash member. He was gifted that membership by Talmud, and Talmud did another one, gifted another membership. Praise the Cash, Talmud. So Isaac Kennedy became a Truth Seekers member here, thanks to a gifted membership by Talmud. Very, very generous of you, Talmud. And we'll see if we can't plow through the rest of this live chat. I'm way behind, and I apologize here. Oh, there we go. We got Deb from SAC. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, Deb from SAC. Very, very good to see you. Pair character holding his belly, laughing out loud. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. I don't know if you tried to send an emoji and it just sent that. That's very strange. But thank you, Deb from SAC, longtime show supporter. And we thank James, 4488, with a kind and generous £2 support. We thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. All right, I'm just catching up here. We making a point that we read every single super chat, and I never want to miss one. And by the way, if I do miss one, Orc War Chief Review says, yeah, sorry, it keeps crashing on my end. Sorry for the inconvenience. Thanks for having me on. Well, I apologize for that. I always tell people the best thing to do is to have even a $20 webcam with a microphone and a laptop or a desktop. People who try to connect from the phone often have problems, and I'm sorry for that, but thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We'll take your Canadian $5. Praise to cash. Orc War Chief Reviews. Is that a Warcraft reference? Probably, right? Big time Warcraft. I've been playing Warcraft since the DOS version. World of Warcraft I played for years. Ghost of Speedy with a kind of generous $1.99. Nick Rikita says his YouTube says you're his new personal project. Oh, I hope not. I really don't want to get on the attention, on the radar of a guy like that, or any guy with a huge channel, right? We've got enough from our little haters. I don't want to get involved in that. Thank you, though. When we thank Akiki Mom, I can never say this one. Akikama gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships. Praise the cash, Akimama. Akikama. No, maybe that's how you say it. I apologize. Tell me how to say that. Above the Clouds was gifted a membership by Akikama. And State of Mind was gifted a membership by Akikama. Tommy T was gifted a membership. Sleazy was gifted a membership by Akikama. And Caleb Keppel was gifted a membership. This is why you got to subscribe, friends, because if you're in the live chat and you subscribe, you may get a free membership. You could win that. Somebody asked me if here, Matt Dubinski, do you ever do videos exposing people like Graham Hancock or Randall Carlson and their grift? No, but doing so is on my list. They're on my list, and they're still kind of in my gray basket. You know, we don't want to go after people too harshly unless it's very well deserved. So you will notice that I have a reputation for having overwhelming evidence. If I declare you're a grifter, I have overwhelming evidence you're a grifter. Du Bois is here and says, love this show. We appreciate that. Thank you for your kindness. Thank all of you for being here. So since we're not really having too much luck with guests tonight, I'm just going to continue and share the things that I have to share with you, and we'll talk about this hearing. One thing, Lil Pop-Tart on Twitter pointed out that Lou Elizondo for years has been saying this can't be adversarial technology. For years and years now, he's been saying these can't be adversarial technology. This has to be aliens, essentially. And isn't it interesting that today in the hearing, he basically contradicted himself? But that's nothing new because Lou Elizondo contradicts himself all the time. And it's just, yeah. So here he is. And this is interesting because the guy contradicts himself all the time.
Elizondo, you state in your testimony that, quote, advanced technologies not by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe, end quote. If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
Well, ma'am, that's precisely why we're here. The problem is that, temporally speaking, over decades, not just the last 10 years, to put this in perspective,
are these private companies you're implying, or is this non-human intelligence?
It may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force Technologies, I would not.
It may be both. So it may be adversarial technology and not aliens. This directly contradicts his own written testimony that he submitted. He didn't even acknowledge in his written testimony, well, this could be adversarial technology, right? Just kind of crazy here that this is where we're at, and he's contradicted himself yet again. But this is nothing surprising to me. It's just another one of those things that makes you go, about this guy. And Steve Long tweeted one that was just to show you what a circus this was. Let's just show you what a circus this was, because it was indeed a circus. And we have this wackadoo. I don't care if she's a lawmaker, she's still a wackadoo. Steve Long said, today's UAP hearing in a nutshell.
Please, I have many questions I want to get to. Are there any known instances of recovered materials or technologies that are not of human origin and maybe connected to any advanced bioscience defense programs within the USG?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to answer that, ma'am.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She basically asks, this wackadoo asks these guys, is there like super soldiers? There's super soldiers, isn't there? There is. I know it.
Okay, so there are rumors that have come up to the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities,
hybrids.
Are any of you familiar with that?
No, ma'am.
No, we don't know about those alien hybrid super soldiers. We don't know anything about the alien hybrid super soldiers. And the fact that an elected lawmaker of the United States government is asking people about rumors of alien hybrid super soldiers, yeah, I think that perfectly sums up this goddamn circus. What a circus this is. What a circus, friends. Oh, you can't make this shit up. It's so stupid, right? And I love when you see a shot of these guys. Behind them is all of these UFO profiteers. I should have pointed that out when I was showing the video. You know, Leslie Keene's back there, Ryan Graves, he's trying to make money. Leslie Kane, whatever. All these UFO podcasters, right? We've got Jeremy Corbell, who's been selling fake alien and UFO stories for what, a decade now? Right behind the wackadoos testifying are other wackadoos that are all trying to make money off of this. Yes. And I just want to point out, Marcus Wolf on Twitter pointed out a very important point here. And he says, here's the deal. Why didn't these clowns provide all their evidence to Arrow in a classified setting? Do they ever explain why they refused to do so? So all these people, every time you heard somebody say, well, I can't talk about that in an open session, they could have provided their so-called classified evidence to Arrow, and all of them chose not to. This is not a coincidence. And I think that its classified excuse is getting really, really old now. They like to pretend that they have top secret information, but they can never reveal it. Well, come on. You can't reveal it in a congressional setting while you're under oath. And where is all this information that Elizondo's been dancing around pretending that he had for years now? Wouldn't this be the time to drop that information? Wouldn't this be the time to say, oh yeah, here is where the crash retrieval programs are studied, and here's 4 scientists that we have on the record statements from that they worked on the alien technology. And here's sworn statements from a pathologist who worked on the alien biologics. No, they got nothing. And everything in the written testimony was public domain, more or less, things that anybody could read on the internet. But at the risk, I know I'm going to if I get a copyright claim from sharing this next piece, I'm going to be pissed. You know that sound from Law and Order? I think this video has it, and I could get a copyright claim. I'm going to try to get around that. We have some interesting information coming to us from Osiris UAP, who, yes, he's a well-known skeptic and critic of Lou Elizondo, having had personal experience. Lou Elizondo tried to recruit him into the mission of disclosure. Didn't work out, right? He told Jeremy McGowan, Lou did, that he had superpowers and all this other stuff, and people attacked him mercilessly, like, how dare you lie about Lou? He would never say he has superpowers. And then Lou Elizondo's book comes out, and what do we find out? Lou claims he has superpowers. But here's a very important part of today's. This is why I'm glad Lou the grifter Elizondo testified under oath. Because Lou Elizondo stated on May 10th, it's been brought to my attention that despite my constant assertion in the media about my non-involvement in OSAP, some are again under the false impression that I was part of it. For the record, again and again, I was not part of OSAP. Well, that's interesting because we're going to see in a moment that his sworn testimony in Congress directly contradicts that. So was he lying on May 10th, 2021, or was he lying today? We'll have to see, right? In 1 second.
My background is...
So the person asked him about his background. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to avoid that law and order copyright strike.
Give me your background real quick.
My background is I went to school to study microbiology and immunology, entered into the U.S. Army, and after a very short stint in military intelligence, I became a counterintelligence special agent. As a civilian, later on I became a special agent in charge, running investigations in counterterrorism and counterespionage primarily, with some experience in counterinsurgency and counternarcotics. And then in 2009 timeframe, when I came back to the Pentagon after a tour with the Director of National Intelligence, I quickly became part of a program that was originally called OSAP that evolved into the program now called ATIP, which is where those videos that we now see, the Go Fast, the Gimbal, the FLIR, that was part of our effort, sir.
And here he is again. I want to be careful here. I always maintain a firewall between ATIP and OSAP. Am I aware? Yes. Was it my entire focus? No. Again and again and again, Lou Elizondo has said I was never part of OSAP. But of course, people who worked with him are saying that he was never part of either OSAP or ATIP. It's a whole big shit show of confusion. And how does Lou Elizondo start out his career saying, yes, I was the director of a $22 million sensitive UFO program that I ran for the Pentagon? And then he's walking that shit back later saying, oh, well, it wasn't really a program. It was more like an activity. He admits it was an unfunded program. In other words, it was a hobby. Lou Elizondo was bored at work and decided, well, I'll use the Pentagon computers and look up UFO stuff because I'm interested in this. Nobody asked him to do it. Nobody assigned him. He didn't have any assigned UFO responsibilities for the Pentagon. He had a completely different set of, things he was supposed to be doing. So how much taxpayer money did he waste while he was getting a salary to do a real Pentagon job? How much of our money did he waste looking up UFO stuff at work when he was supposed to be working on other things that had nothing to do with UFOs? Sleazy says, I checked my equipment, works fine in StreamYard. It's not you, it's you, not me. Oh, well, I don't know. You could try to join again then, Sleazy. Just try to join again and we'll see if we can't get it to work. I apologize. But we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated. I'm sorry for the technical issues. I've never ran a panel show with this software. So far, it's not going great, guys. I have to say that, but thank you, Sleazy, for your kindness, and you're welcome to try again. Tone Lido, isn't lying to Congress a crime? Yes. And, of course, the true believers will say, well, if he was lying, they would prosecute him. People are rarely, if ever, prosecuted for lying to Congress, even in clear cases that they lied to Congress. There's also a famous case of the Raelian UFO cult who provably 100% went before a congressional hearing under oath, lied to Congress, and they were never prosecuted. I doubt that he will ever be prosecuted. But we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It's just one of those things that the true believers use. They did that with Grush, too. Well, if Grush was lying, they would prosecute him. No, Grush was just repeating stories that people told him. It does not mean that Grush was telling the truth. He could just say, people told me these stories, I believed them, and I was relaying that information under oath. Those weren't his assertions or his statements. He didn't have any firsthand knowledge. And now it appears that nobody has any firsthand knowledge, right? It's just ridiculous. And yeah, please don't do that. Chuck Bam is encouraging drunk people to join the show. For those unaware, we are opening the panel. Pinned in the live chat on our YouTube channel is a link to join the show. We've had some technical issues. Yeah, Lou Elizondo is here and says, "Oh ye of little faith, Stephen. Go sell some books, Lou," right? And Bob Marley says, "Hal Putoff trained them all well." Yeah, I believe that. So I thought it'd be interesting also if we could, we're going to go over a very important release from Jeremy McGowan besides this video today. And that is just, I can't stress enough to you how much the evidence, the real evidence, all points to the fact that this is a small group of the same people over and over and over again bringing these issues up. And this is a bit of a long-winded post. Jeremy, I wish you would have did this more briefly, but we're going to go through it because it's just so important. Many people in the know and people who have been following all of these situations very closely agree with me that this document that was released today likely came from somebody at the UAPTF. And for those unaware, the UAPTF was the UFO organization for the government before Aero. But it was filled with wackadoos who saw aliens everywhere. Some of the same people that are involved in Skinwalker Ranch and see paranormal events everywhere. Even when it's a bug flying by a camera, they turn it into a alien spaceship doing 3,000 miles an hour. So the UAPTF was very not credible. And it was filled with credulous true believers who saw aliens everywhere, to the point that they put our national security at risk, some say, because they missed obvious things like Chinese spy balloons because they were too busy. They were too busy, my friends, looking for the alien space monsters. So people are speculating right now that this Immaculate Constellation Claims document, which, by the way, was submitted by Schellenberger, completely anonymous. Trust me, bro, this definitely came from somebody that worked for the government. Okay, who wrote it? Well, I can't tell you. Can't tell you who wrote it. They may well have submitted the Wilson Davis notes as evidence. Oh, wait, they already did that. They may have well have submitted the MJ-12 documents as proof of their claims. Long debunked, garbage, fake documents. But hey, maybe this document is real, and let's get into that. Boy, I was in the spaces earlier today, and the coping mechanism of some of the true believers is truly mind-shattering. It's like, well, even though the government has repeatedly said Lou never ran a UFO program, he still could have. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe he did. Sure. Or maybe he's been caught lying so many times and selling fake shit to stupid people that you ought to wake up. Wake up and realize that maybe you're being lied to because somebody likes UFO dollars. Oh, man. Lou Elizondo is one of those guys, and he's one of those guys, man. He's sitting there in Congress going, boy, I'm going to sell an awful lot of books, and I'm going to make it rain up in here with my UFO dollars. Congress people are helping me get my UFO dollars. Senators are helping me get my UFO dollars. Stupid people are sending me all this UFO money, even though I lied about running a government UFO program since 2016. I've been just lying. I lied to people about the TTSA. We're going to build a spaceship, and then I got some UFO dollars. I lied to people about how fast Go Fast was going, and it might be an alien spaceship, even though it was a balloon, and I get to grab these UFO dollars everywhere I go. UFO dollars, baby, that's what it's about. And if you're so stupid that you're going to deny that, then why are there so many UFO profiteering scumbags in the audience of this congressional hearing, all of which have a vested financial interest in perpetuating these evidence-free, trust me, bro, stories that never seem to have any evidence, never seem to pan out, But hey, chase the carrot. While they chase the UFO dollars, you chase the carrot thinking maybe, just maybe, they're not going to lie to me this time. Maybe, just maybe, this time they really do have evidence. It's truly remarkable, the coping mechanisms that some people have and the mental gymnastics that some people are able to do to stay in their false reality where all this is real and all this is true. And I say that having been somebody who was once one of those people. There was a time when you could not convince me that the government wasn't hiding aliens. But year after year, time after time, false hope after false hope destroyed by these grifters, eventually you wake up and you go, maybe all these people are just full of shit. Maybe it's that simple. But it is a lot more complicated. And somebody a little more articulate than me, like Jeremy McGowan, I invited him for the show, but I'm sure that he's maybe busy. So we're going to have to make do with his post from Twitter today, which was very, very well thought out, well spoken. Back to Stephen Greenstreet's reporting from the New York Post, who was the only mainstream journalist getting the UFO story right. And that, my friends, is the same group of people and their friends. There's always one degree of separation. Like Tim Gallaudet isn't on Stephen Greenstreet's original chart of the spooky bunch, but he's friends with a bunch of the people. One degree of separation. And likewise, Grush was once not a part of the spooky bunch, but now he is. But he was friends with all the people in this little tiny group that is constantly promoting these things, constantly making these fantastic claims. And I titled tonight's broadcast, Another UFO Hearing. You know, huge claims, still no evidence. Like, how many government hearings do we have to have before you assholes have to actually show proof of what you're claiming? We sat here and listened to this. I sat here and listened to this UFO hearing. Oh, here comes they defy the laws of physics. Oh, the flight characteristics are well beyond anything in our arsenal. You're just saying things. Don't you think, like, maybe while you're testifying in front of Congress, it might be a good idea that more than just saying these things, you provide the sensor data that backs up what you're saying, but you won't and you don't and they can't, so they won't. It's one big circle jerk. And I was struck today while Michael Schellenberger was basically asked, who are your sources? Well, I refuse to release these sources. And then he looked over. I'm telling you, I'm going to get the clip. He looks over, or maybe this is just my recollection. He's sitting next to his sources. That's some of his sources. Michael Schellenberger is getting his information from some of the same people that are in this spooky bunch of the same people. Dave Grush, he was getting a lot of his information from. So, of course, people are speculating that it's the wackadoos from the UAPTF that were also part of this spooky bunch that had been perpetuating this shit for decades now, years at least, that are Schellenberger's sources, and that who wrote that Immaculate Conception Constellation report. And isn't it funny how that confirms that Lou Elizondo really did run the program that he said he did, even though all other evidence says he didn't? Like, is Lou Elizondo that desperate now that we've got to bolster my credentials and my past claims that I ran this government program? So suddenly there's an anonymous source, and he'll give Michael Schellenberger, who's a journalist, a 11 or 12 page document that claims that everything that these guys have been saying is true, but it's anonymously sourced. For all we know, Santa Claus wrote that whole document, right? For all we know, Santa Claus wrote it. So to me, there's got to be some kind of standards of evidence where you say, okay, Lou Elizondo's saying he ran a government program, but all evidence points to the fact that he never did, and he's been lying about it since the New York Times article. But now suddenly we've got an anonymously sourced document from somebody else that works in the government that confirms much of what Lou Elizondo said. Again, this is like one big circle jerk. These guys are just juggling the same ball. It's like watching a juggler juggle one ball. That's what this is. That's what this has been for many times. And of course, each of these clowns backs up the other clown, but nobody has any goddamn evidence. Tim Gallaudet admitted on a show with Project Unity that he had zero exposure to anything UFO, UAP related while he was in the military. And everything Tim Gallaudet talks about, he gets from the internet or his wackadoo friends like Lou Elizondo, who he speaks so very highly of and claims they're PSYOP operations. And I guess I'd be included in that. I'm a paid government disinformation agent, according to some. It's absolutely stupid and ridiculous. Yeah. I really don't know. We've had Solar Marshall is here. Why is my chat under the video? I have no idea. We're using new software. That could be it, but I really couldn't tell you. So I'm going to try to catch up with the live chat. We want to thank Matthew A. for a kind and generous $2.99 super chat who says Lou should have showed his angels for all to see. Yeah, let's talk about that. So testifying before Congress about national security issues is a guy who claimed that he projected his consciousness into a terrorist's bedroom and appeared to the terrorist to be an angel and then shook the terrorist's bed with his superpowers. And the same person claims that there's orbs appearing, UFO space monster orbs, space ghost orbs? I don't know. Non-human intelligent space orbs are appearing in Lou Elizondo's house on a regular basis. Did you ever get a camera out? Oh, no, we didn't think about doing that. It's alien space orbs. They're appearing in my house on a routine, regular basis. And me and my wife saw the alien space orbs, but nobody else did. And we didn't film it, take pictures, document it, even though I claim to be some kind of UFO paranormal expert. Thank you, Matthew A. Lou should have shown his angels for all to see. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And we've got Michael Siebold with a kind generous £5, says, let it rain. Yeah, I'm praising the cash up in here tonight, bitches. Thanks to Michael Siebold. I might praise some cash and get some UFO dollars. It's about time. It's about time. I've been doing this shit for almost free for 3 years. It's about time. You people, all of you got to get out your wallet. The truth ain't free. And if these sons of bitches can get paid millions of dollars to lie to you, I should at least make better than Taco Bell wages to give you and bring you the truth. Thank you, Michael Siebold. Kristen Maris. Kristen Maris with a kind and generous $19.99 super chat who says, for Lou's book, have a good read. You know, I've already got it. Somebody else gifted it to me. A viewer who previously sent me like a t-shirt or something. I want to thank them. They know who they are. They wish to remain anonymous, but they had my address. So they bought the book and then shipped it to me. But we'll use your $19.99 to buy the book for a homeless person who's, or you know what? I'll give your $19.99 to a homeless person. That's what I'll do. I got a 20 in my wallet. So the next time I see a homeless person who says, brother, can you spare $1? I'll do that with it, Chris Damaris. Or I'll just keep it because it's about time I start praising some cash up in here. Tired of this Taco Bell wages. Million. These guys are making millions of dollars. People argue with me about that, but okay. Praise the cash. Let's get some subs for that righteous rant, says Dylan. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Look, this is a bad message to send. If all I have to do to get super chats is start yelling that I'm not making enough money. Jimmy Tchaikovsky says, immaculate constipation with a kind and generous Australian $2. We thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And we've got Welch7619 with a kind and generous $4.99 super chat. We thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We thank you for helping us to praise the cash. And I'm making a mess in here in my office, but it's okay. I got to clean this place anyway. You'll notice we went down to one camera because the rest of my office is such a mess because I've been working on many different things and it's just a mess. But we thank you for helping us. We're praising the cash tonight, friends. Get out your wallets. The truth ain't cheap. The truth will set you free. But first, you gotta send me some money. All right? And we thank Deb from SAC for a kind and generous $10 super chat for tacos. Taco Steven. Thank you, Deb from SAC. You know, I've been mentioning on my show that I can't, my family, the economy's so bad. We used to do Taco Bell night. Now we do tacos at home night. And you know what? $10 more or less cover it. We got some of the stuff already. So we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. The least I could get is some tacos for all of this. Yes, and Deb from SAC is reminding people to abduct that like button, please. Yes, at 100 subs, Steven will eat Taco Bell on camera. I don't know about that. I still have to do a bison steak when we do a David Wilcock episode, right? So I'm trying to get serious now. So because this is a serious post from Jeremy McGowan, and I think it's very, very important what he wrote here because it ties together some of the things that I've been saying here, and it ties together some of the reporting, the excellent reporting of Stephen Greenstreet, and it ties together some of the stuff that the average Chris has been saying, or Lou Reviews, or Mick West, or a lot of these critical people. It sort of ties this all together. And we're going to try to go through this because it's important. Jeremy McGowan at Osiris UAP writes, with the November 2024 UAP hearing happening in a few minutes, I've been examining the timeline of events surrounding the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, or UAPTF, and Jeremy Corbell's releases of UFO footage, and a troubling pattern starts to emerge. By the way, I believe I was one of the first people to say on a live stream that I thought Jeremy Corbell is getting his material from either Jay Stratton or Dave Grush of the UAPTF, because the timelines all match, and those timelines were provided to us by Go Kick Rocks, who is Axelrod on UFO Twitter. Shout out to her. Where are you at, Jess? You should join tonight. The UAPTF was established in August 2020, a government agency tasked with investigating unexplained aerial phenomenon. Their operations were shrouded in confidentiality, meant to delve deep into incidents that could potentially threaten national security. Then in April 2021, Corbell released a video showing what was described as a pyramid-shaped object hovering over a U.S. Navy ship. The public found the footage to be startling, not just because of its content, because the Pentagon confirmed its authenticity, admitting it was captured by Navy personnel. However, the Pentagon's admission doesn't imply that the object is of extraterrestrial origin or even unexplained. It simply confirms that the footage is genuine and not a hoax. Analysts like Mick West have scrutinized these videos and offered terrestrial explanations. In the case of the pyramid-shaped UFO, West suggested that the triangular appearance was likely due to a common camera artifact called bokeh, which occurs when an out-of-focus light sources take on the shape of the camera's aperture. And in this case, the camera aperture was triangular. In this case, the triangle due to the lens design. This means the pyramid could actually be an out-of-focus image of a conventional aircraft or even a star. This analysis holds up and is still more likely than not that the video is simply misidentification and not misunderstanding of bokeh. However, just a month later, in May 2021, Corbell published another video, this time of a spherical object maneuvering near a Navy vessel before allegedly disappearing into the ocean. Again, while the footage was confirmed to be captured by Navy personnel, analysts have proposed that the object might have been a balloon or a drone, and its apparent descent into the ocean could be an optical illusion caused by the angle of observation and the limitations of the camera system. Another analysis that withstands examination is more likely the case than ET's. The rapid succession of these releases, Jeremy goes on to write, both originating from military sources, initially struck me as more than a coincidence. What's particularly intriguing is that these significant leaks occurred while the UAPTF was actively investigating such phenomenon. It raises the question, could someone within the UAPTF have been leaking these videos to Corbell? The alignment of the task force operational period with the timing of Corbell's releases is suspicious. It seems plausible that an insider, perhaps frustrated with the lack of public disclosure or driven by personal motives, decided to pass along this material. Perhaps they were setting themselves up as an expert, someone with access, someone who holds knowledge, supposed knowledge, and using Corbell as their status builder. In June 2021, the government released a report acknowledging that many UAP incidents remained unexplained, a rare admission that only fueled public interest. Yet after the UAPTF was disbanded in November 2021 and replaced by the Airborne Object Identification and Magic, oh God, I'm not even going to try to, AOIMSG, there was a noticeable drop in new high-profile footage from Corbell. And everybody knows that Corbell is very friendly with Stratton, with Travis Taylor, and with Dave Grush. So I agree that it may be speculation that it's members of the UAPTF, but that footage had to come from somewhere. This abrupt change makes me wonder if the sources of the leaks was linked to the UAPTF and was cut off following its dissolution. Who was on the UPF that wasn't part of AOIMSG? The sequence of events suggests that the leaks weren't random. The fact that the most significant releases happened during the UAPTF's active months implies a connection. While I can't prove it definitively, the possibility that someone within the UAPTF was providing Corbell with these videos seems increasingly likely. Yet, given that analysts have provided plausible explanations for these sightings, the motive behind the leaks might not have been to reveal evidence of extraterrestrial life, but perhaps to prompt public discourse or critique the handling of UAP investigations. It's possible that the government might have authorized the release of these videos in an unofficial manner for various reasons. The whole scenario leaves me with more questions than answers. If an insider was leaking information, what was their motivations? Was it a push for transparency, a breach of protocol, or an attempt to draw attention to how easily misinterpretations can occur with limited data? The overlap between UAPTF's activities and Corbell's release is too significant to ignore, and it leads me to suspect that the veil of secrecy was pierced from within. Seems very plausible to me, friends. Jeremy goes on to write, it's possible the government might have authorized the release of these videos in an unofficial manner for various reasons. Perhaps they wanted to gauge public reaction to UAP incidents without making formal disclosures, or maybe they aim to distract from other pressing issues. Official releases can serve as food to disseminate information while maintaining plausible deniability. However, considering the sensitive nature of the material and the strict protocols surrounding classified information, the more likely scenario is that someone within the UAPTF was illegally providing Corbell with these videos and details. Such unauthorized disclosures could stem from personal convictions about the public's right to know, or from internal disagreements about how UAP investigations were being handled. This possibility raises serious concerns about the security and trust within the government agencies tasked with national defense. Unauthorized leaks not only violate laws, but can jeopardize ongoing investigations and national security. If an individual within the UAPTF took it upon themselves to leak this information, it reflects a significant breach of protocol and highlights potential fractures within the agency. Ultimately, the convergence of the UAPTF's operational period with the timing of Corbell's releases suggested an internal source for the leaks. Those leaks had to come from somewhere. And if we find out that each of those leaks that came from Corbell was also studied by or investigated by UAPTF, I think it's game over that those leaks came from members of the UAPTF, possibly Stratton, possibly Travis Taylor, possibly Dave Grush. I mean, they could only come from somewhere, and this is more, the timeline lines up perfectly with UAPTF and Corbell getting these leaks. And by the way, Corbell was buddies with 2 of the 3 of those people before Grush came into the scene. So we know they have a cordial, friendly relationship. Is it such a leap of faith to say, well, maybe Corbell's buddies within the government was helping him sell his bullshit? And by the way, another member of the UAPTF, this Sarah Grimm girl, another person with superpowers. How many of these people got superpowers? I'm sick of this shit. If you're going to say you have superpowers, then show us your superpowers, or stop saying you have superpowers, right? Lou Elizondo's got superpowers. Hal Puthoff's got superpowers. Richard Dolan's wife's got superpowers. The Sarah lady from the UAPTF, she's got superpowers. Eric Davis, I think, said he had superpowers. I don't know. I'm losing so many people claim they have super psychic powers that I lose track. We thank Troll for a kind and generous $5 super chat. Says, get your chupacabras right here. And we thank Akikama, who just became a member after gifting a bunch of memberships. Thank you very much for your kindness. Very kind of you, Akikama. I think that's how you say it. That's how I'm going to say it. I don't know. You can correct me. And we've got Yamal with a kind and generous $2. So use those UFO dollars to buy a truth for your truth. That makes sense. And Lord of the Lou Wit says, have you heard of Michael Herrera and DC Long Stories on Sean Ryan's podcast? I'd love to see an investigation into those guys. Well, somebody already did it, and it turns out that Michael Herrera's direct chain of command supervisor, his commanding officer, said that he's full of shit and he made the whole thing up. DC Longs I'll have to check back into. But Michael Herrera has been debunked as complete and total lying bullshitter. I think when your commanding officer comes out and says none of that shit that he said happened, yeah, and he didn't have a vested financial interest. Meanwhile, Michael Herrera is trying to make a UFO career. So thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. I think Michael Herrera is in the bullshit bin for me. AZ, unless you want to be a lying con, you get tacos. Thank you for kindness, generosity, and support, and a very, very kind $1.99. Oh, man, all you guys becoming members, you guys are going to make me work harder. Every time we get a lot of new members, I have to work harder because I got to do more members-only videos. But thank you, P18, for your kindness, generosity, and support. P18 just became a member. And if you become a member, I'll give you a shout-out and a big thank you and a big, wonderful praise to cash, bitches. We're going to make it rain up in here tonight. This is one of our best nights so far. I guess I got to start yelling and screaming at people. And oh my God, P18 just gifted 20 Truth Seekers memberships. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And by the way, that's what that costs to do that. It costs $100 to give 20 Truth Seekers memberships. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We've got Freezer was gifted a membership. Let me see if we can get them all. 808 was just gifted a membership. Gifted a membership by P18. All these people were just gifted a membership by P18. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And this, my friends, is why you got to smash that subscribe button. Because if you smash the subscribe button and you're in the live chat while somebody gifts these free memberships, you could get one. All these people, Carl Christopherson got a free membership. Unapologetically Me 111 got a free membership. Jason was gifted a membership. Jay Roach was gifted a membership. Randy WSG gifted a membership. Egyptian Princess gifted a membership. Incredible Wahoo gifted a membership. Jay Grift was gifted a membership. Jimmy Chowski was gifted a membership. Jay Cole out on bail. Boy, I've been there, brother. No, actually I haven't, but I've got a lot of friends who have. And let's just say out on bail, I've picked up a lot of friends at the Roundhouse in Philadelphia. Philadelphians will know what that means. Emiger B was gifted a membership by P18. We've got Lou Horton gifted a membership. Thank you, P18. Look at all these people got a free membership tonight, thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of people like P18. We've got Macchio 14 gifted a membership by P18. Elmer Boilerhouse gifted a membership by P18. We've got Wreaking Havoc in the house, longtime show supporter, says UF government has no reason to disclose anything. It's all fake. It's crazy to me that anyone would think they would be so transparent. They lie about everything, and there's always grifters involved, in my opinion. You're right. And thank you for kindness, generosity, and support. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. Longtime show supporter, Wreaking Havoc. And we've got Corey Jeffrey. I am new to your content. Have you covered James Rink and his secret space program in every of your previous work? Yes, we have. You can search for Super Soldier Talk in the search bar, or Super Soldier, or Wackadoo, Wackadoo. That's how I choose to spell it. I don't know if that's even right. It's kind of a made-up word based off of wackadoodle. Wackadoo of the Week. If you search for Wackadoo of the Week, you'll find it. And then search for Star Trek, because we did an episode of a guy who claimed that Star Trek was real. That was on with the secret space program. It is a laugh riot. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. And now I believe that we are all caught up on all of the super chats. Very, very kind and generous of all of you fine people. Thank you so much. We haven't had a night like this. I've never had a struggle to read all the super chats so much during a live broadcast. So thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And also, we have to take a moment to recognize another kind and generous person, and that is Mike Larry, who is the MVP of buying me a coffee. And I wanted to say to him, he bought 13 beers yesterday. For those unaware, that's $5 a piece. That's quite a generous contribution to the cause. So thank you, Mike Larry. And I replied to him on Buy Me a Coffee. By the way, the links are in the description of the video. If you buy me a coffee, send me a PayPal, send me a super chat, join our membership program, I give you a shout out and a thank you. I told him on Buy Me a Coffee, sorry I missed this earlier. We'll give you a big shout out tomorrow. Praised cash, bitches. So Mike Larry is the MVP of buying me a coffee. And we'll check in with the PayPal just to be sure that we don't have a bunch of those waiting, although that would be great. And we want to take a moment to welcome all you friends from the Keno Casino and all of you new subscribers. We've had a tremendous surge of incoming new subscribers. I think that people are understandably tired of these grifting, lying scumbags, and they want the other side of the story. Because, friends, it's 100% verifiably true that the UFO scam only works because they only give you half the story. Lou Elizondo's sitting there saying, they asked about his background, right? Oh, well, I was in the Army. I was counterintelligence official, counterterrorism. He forgot to tell you, though, that since 2016, all he's done is grift for UFO dollars. All he's done, in my opinion, and the opinion of many other well-informed people, is lie to the American public while filling his pockets with every UFO dollar he could possibly find. Wreaking Havoc says wackadoo is an official word. It must be. Yeah, Deb from Sac says, Stephen, those fake hearings are great for your channel. Absolutely. Thank you, Deb from Sac. And we have Archduke Instinct says, gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships, and now we've got Tim Curley get a free membership. 3 Havoc is getting a free membership. Andrea is getting a free membership. Taylor's getting a free membership. And in order to not make it a sausage party, we've got Susie Baumsgaard also getting a membership. Welcome, Susie, and welcome all of you new members. Yeah, Dylan says, smash the like button and let's get everyone a membership. Yeah, let's get some memberships going in here. We're having a good night. I've got more to share with you regarding today's UFO hearing. And I apologize if we've gone pretty long with the super chats, but there's so many generous people that we have to recognize before we continue and move on. So I just have some notes remaining. One of the striking things about this entire situation, one second, I do want to find a video, and I hope you won't mind me playing it. It's so funny. We've been trying to build bridges here instead of burn them. And if you would have told me, one second, I found the wrong one. If you would have told me a few years ago that I would even mention or play anything from this person's show, I probably wouldn't. But, the longer I'm here, the more I realize it's okay to disagree with people if you could find some kind of common ground that you can agree on. So Jay Anderson from Project Unity posted some stuff today that was very, very curious. Essentially about Tim Gallaudet saying incredibly kind things about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick a few years ago. And remember that this Tim Gallaudet was asked for a job. He wanted to get a job. And of course, he didn't get a job because he was a wackadoo. That's basically it. One second. I was seeing if I could find the video. If not, we'll just move on and describe it. Lots of posts today. Oh, of course, I can't find that video now that I'm looking for it. I should have tweeted it out. Yeah, I apologize, friends. So in the video he shared, Tim Gallaudet was saying great things about, here, I think I have it. Now I do have it, yes. All right, we'll get that. And if anybody still wants to join the show, the link to join the show is in the live chat. It's pinned into the live chat. So this is this admiral. I'll tell you how two-faced these people are. So this admiral wanted a job investigating aliens and UFOs and goes to Kirkpatrick, but he didn't get the job. And Kirkpatrick's statement says he didn't get the job because he's a wackadoo that believes everything that people tell him. He's credulous. In other words, he's a wackadoo. And so he didn't get the job. And suddenly, after he did not get the job, he is a disinformation agent that's running a psyop on this guy. I mean, you can't even make this shit up. It's so childish and stupid. And remember, this Tim Gallaudet is the same guy who also said that while in the military, he had zero exposure to anything related to UAPs, UFOs, or anything, other than getting an email, and then he claims the email disappeared. But, you know, he didn't investigate UFOs. He wasn't involved in UFOs. It's only after he's done with his military career, like many people, this is a retirement plan. If you got a good military credentials, just go to the UFO community and say aliens are here, and you'll get a lot of money. That's the way it works.
Have an exchange with the current director now of this new all-domain anomaly program office, and I'm really all domain resolution office, I believe it's called.
That's the one.
And it's Sean Kirkpatrick, who is immensely qualified. If you know, there's a lot of times where maybe figureheads get put in places if they're not really important. This guy is really, he knows what he's doing. He's an intelligence pro. He's been involved with space intelligence activities, and I was pleasantly surprised that when I reached out to him, he responded right away.
Yes, and so this is what Tim Gallaudet was saying about Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of AARO, before now. And this is a short time ago, right? This is like a year or two ago. Let me check. 2 years ago, he was glowing about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick being such a tremendous scientist and so qualified for this. And so he goes to AARO, and apparently, as the story goes, AARO tried to convince him that some of the things that he was claiming was evidence of aliens was normal, earthly, ordinary objects. And they also refused to give him a job because he's a wackadoo who believes anything he's told, right? His daughter says, "I'm talking to dead people, Daddy." And he goes, "Let's get you on a paranormal television show. That's what we should do." His wife tells him, "I see dead people," and let's get you on a paranormal TV show. This all must be true and real. People tell him aliens are visiting Earth. He's all chips in. And he has no evidence. He just believes this shit. So, of course, they turn him down for a job. And we've got this now famous statement that Stephen Greenstreet of the New York Post got from Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick yesterday. See our yesterday broadcast if you want more details of that. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick basically said, yeah, we didn't give him a job because he's a complete and total wackadoo. And we try to give him alternate explanations of his wackadoo alien theories, and he didn't like that.
And I explained to him where my contributions might be able to, the areas that I might be able to help him with, and he expressed interest. And so he said he'd get back to me. I told him I'd be willing to work as a consultant pro bono, and we'll see what he says. And
so they didn't even want him to work for free. You got to be pretty worthless if somebody says, "I'll work for free," and the person in charge of that says, "No, thanks." Tim Gallaudet, you clown show. We're going to start a fundraiser, and we're going to send. I don't want to beat up this Ron Gold too much, this NASA guy. By the way, we'll talk about that and address some of those issues in a moment. But the 3 of the 4 of the people that testified today, we should send clown outfits to. Clown makeup, clown wigs, clown shoes, clown pants, clown shirts. These people deserve a clown suit, 3 or 4 of them. We want to thank Billy Hicks for a kind and generous $10 super chat. Says, to my favorite UFO truth channel and the best common sense content creator who stands firm on a strong foundation of moral integrity, slapping the wackadoo out of fooled souls back to reality in style. That's right. That's what we're here to do. We're here to slap the wackadoo out of you. So all of you, I got a project for you. All of you have wackadoo friends. Some of you are former wackadoos. So any of you former wackadoos, or even if you're a current wackadoo, get some of your wackadoo friends. Send them over to my channel. It's Truth Seekers on YouTube. One word. Just look for me, the strange guy with sunglasses. Go there, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and every time I go live, you can come here and I will do my best to slap the wackadoo out of you wackadoos who believe these lying dumbasses that have as much evidence of aliens as I have of being God. Okay? I will slap the wackadoo out of you. And thank you, Billy Hicks, for your kindness, generosity, and support. Longtime show supporter. She says very nice things, right? Yamal says, do you have a Gab? All the wackadoos I know are on Gab. No, but thanks. I don't have enough social media crap to keep track of. Now I'm going to need a Gab account to talk to wackadoos. Thanks, but no thanks, Yamal, right? So questions or comments for me, please put them in all capital letters. But isn't it interesting that Tim Gallaudet used to say glowing things about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick? And then Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick was like, yeah, we don't want to give you a job, right? Because you're a wackadoo. And then suddenly, for those unaware, Tim Gallaudet claims that Arrow ran an influence operation campaign against him, or a psyop against him. No, they just disagreed with your assertion that everything is aliens, right? They just disagreed with you. And shouldn't it be okay that a scientist disagrees with somebody? Like, scientists, real scientists, require evidence. And the fact that it's like, well, I don't have any evidence, but the aliens are really here. And if you tell me they're not, you're part of the cover-up. I mean, that's a big part of the way this all works, too. But thank you, Yamal, right? Some guy says, my friend is really into astral projection. Okay. Billy Hicks says, I don't watch every show, but when I do, I got to praise the cash, baby. Plus, I can't be the odd one out with everyone being so generous. Yeah, we've had a great night of generosity. So pinned in the live chat is the link to join the show. I'm sorry, we had a few people try to join. We had technical problems, but that maybe worked out. That's the way some of these cloud-based things work. Like, they have some kind of issue, and then 10 minutes later, it works fine. So I don't know if anybody wants to join. I'm willing to share some more time with you. But for now, what I think we should do is questions and comments for me, now that we're not overloaded with super chats to read and all that stuff, because I don't like, occasionally somebody will be critical and say, oh, Stephen only shares the super chats. No, we share the regular comments too, but please realize that I have a visual impairment. So if you have a comment or question that you want me to share on the screen, or a question you want to ask, just put it in all capital letters. This lets me know that you have a comment that you would like to me to share. And but while we're here, there is the hashtag UFO hearing on Twitter, and I'm certain I will be able to find more stuff. People are calling Lou Elizondo a hero. I don't know about that. Really don't know about that. Oh, God. There's somebody saying there's a demon under Lou Elizondo's chair. Oh, let's share this wackadoo. Oh, well, the wackadoos are at it. Oh, here come the wackadoos. The wackadoos are coming. The wackadoos are coming. All right. And, of course, there's people that are engagement farming. For those unaware, some people are monetized on Twitter, and they can get paid for the number of views that they get and whatever. So I'm pretty sure some of this is that, but we're going to entertain this wackadoo. He says, tell me how this has 50,000 views and nobody is noticing a fucking demon under this guy's chair. I understand it's AI and not a demon, but this is literally what they aired. What is he talking about? Look,
ma'am, I'm not qualified.
I'm trying to get it bigger, but I can't. That's as big as I can get it.
Certainly as a scientist or otherwise to speculate points of origin. I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables.
What is he talking about?
Suffer.
Oh, I got it big. All right, here. Well, there's a demon under Lou Elizondo's desk. Oh, maybe he's not such a wackadoo. What the hell is that? Oh man, that's the demon working with his hand up his ass, working the Elizondo puppet.
Suffer negative biolabels of the program that I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration.
Slow it down so we can see.
Ma'am, I'm
better.
not qualified.
That's
certainly as a scientist or other.
Or it's the dude sitting behind him's pants, maybe, Mr. Wackadoo. There's not always a paranormal explanation for any of this shit. All right. Yeah, I've had enough of that. But it's funny. The wackadoos are at it, man. Everything's a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy. There's a demon under Lou Elizondo's chair. Now, that wouldn't, as a Christian, that wouldn't surprise me because the man is so deceptive. I believe that he was under demonic influence, just my personal belief, and I'm entitled to it. How many people posted the I Want to Believe poster today? Oh, and look at the clickbait. This is a great example of this clickbait culture. Breaking news: extraterrestrial life of UAPs, UFOs is confirmed. And what are they basing that on? The guy who has superpowers, who's a fake Pentagon UFO program director, who said some shit today. So, oh, I did it again. Bear with me, friends. Let's try this again.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
Yes.
So, does the government have UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes. That part I agree. For those unaware, there are verifiable U.S. government programs that retrieved crashed technology. But those programs are focused on adversarial technology. For example, if a Russian satellite crashes, they'll go pick it up, rip it apart. If a Chinese spy balloon crashes, they'll go pick it up, rip it apart. And this is just for intelligence purposes and for monitoring the capabilities of our adversaries. But then she says, is this alien technology? And he says, yes. Am I the only one who thinks that if you're going to say something so fantastic, you should have to show your evidence of that? And what evidence of this does Lou Elizondo have? So far, according to his book, his only evidence that the United States government has retrieved alien technology is Hal Puthoff told me, which is basically another wackadoo. So here we go again with the self-licking ice cream cone, with the wackadoo prover maneuver, as we call it, where one wackadoo with no evidence says, this other wackadoo told me. This is not evidence. This is not proof. And honestly, I don't know how he's not ashamed to be on national television saying this shit when he has exactly zero evidence of it. And by the way, he's had since what, 2016? He's had 8 going on 9 years to make and to show us any proof of the claims like this that he's made for the past 8 or 9 years. How much proof has he shown us? Nothing. Zero. Nada. Zip. But you know what is interesting is although he can't prove any of his claims, we can prove that he lied to the American public over and over and over again. And he uses deceptive and manipulative tactics to recruit people and to show people fake evidence that he claims comes from the government. But then we find out it's a picture somebody took from an apartment. The latest is so stupid. He gets caught selling a completely and totally fake picture of a mothership. See the music video we started our broadcast with. And then he testifies before Congress like he's some kind of expert. No, He's not an expert. He's a grifter that sells fake information to stupid people. But we want to thank I Was Like Milio for just becoming a YouTube channel member. Thank you guys. What a great night we've had for support today. I can't thank you all enough because, sometimes the support is great and sometimes it's pretty low, but I never complain, but I will thank and really thank all of you. When the support is great, we could use your assistance to continue our journey. Gabber Beast TV is here and says, I really like Elizondo's fake UFOs that he posts. Yeah, I mean, he got the last one from Third Phase of Moon. Did you know that, Gabber Beast? Third Phase of Moon, which for those unaware is the biggest fake hoaxer UFO channel on YouTube, one of them at least, used the same fake picture of a mothership. But let's continue this.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse? Okay, we've already answered that question about retrieval programs. Do any U.S. contractors have the same?
I would prefer to address that in a closed session, ma'am.
Okay. In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs, placed on leave, and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can...
He's talking about the Rendlesham Forest guy, and there's absolutely no evidence or proof that his medical condition was caused by exposure to a UAP. In fact, there's no real evidence or proof other than his word that he ever was exposed to a UAP. And the Rendlesham Forest was largely debunked as a lighthouse. So there was no craft. And that's what he's basing this one on. Oh, yeah, people have been injured by unidentified aerial phenomenon and then placed on military disability. Is it John Burroughs, I think is the gentleman's name? He was placed on military disability, but he's never proven with any real proof that he was disabled because of his exposure to UAP. And by the way, the guy also made an awful lot of crazy claims, like the craft at the Rendlesham Forest was from time-traveling humans from the future who gave me a binary message. In other words, this wackadoo is using another wackadoo with no evidence. Wait, let me do it again. This wackadoo fake UFO program, Pentagon program director, is used with no evidence of any of his claims, is using another UFO wackadoo with no proof or evidence of his claims as proof of his claims. This is the circle jerk of doom with these UFO wackadoo losers.
Can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again, because I've seen the documentation by the U.S. government for several of these individuals who have sustained...
Several. I think he's talking about John Burroughs. I don't believe there's more than one. And if he's seen the documentation, then can he show it to us? Why can't he show us the documentation? Wouldn't that be a great thing to do? Is to show the documentation and proof of the claim that you're making. While you're making it, hold it up to Congress. Here's the documents proving that people have been injured by UAP or UFOs and then placed on military disability. Here's the paperwork right here. I have it right here. Nope. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's how all this works. Patty Wilhelm is here and says the circle jerk of doom. Yes. Ha ha, Plan D. Plan D says, feel my fist, see my face. Now you know my name. Truth seekers ain't playing no game. Say my name, say my name. That's right. A lot of people talk shit. Make sure you give them a link back to my channel when you're talking your shit. And when those people get tired of listening to you with your constant circle jerks and your constant lying to people, they'll come here to get the real truth because we have a reputation for that. I always say it wrong, but KMM I-77, I always say Kimmy 77. That mothership was at least worthy of Cosmic Con shuffling off for at least a few months. Yeah, but he couldn't because he's got a book to sell, right? I love hearing this. Deb from Sac says, Steven, YouTube has Gaia commercials cutting into your live show. Talk about fake. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Wackadoos are being felted live here, Richard Harris. Yes. So isn't it interesting and you know, I swear to God, I'm going to come up with a video of 100 of these wackadoo prover maneuvers. One guy saying, well, this is the truth because this other wackadoo said it. Both wackadoos have no evidence. We should do a video where it's all this wackadoo prover maneuver, because that's most of this UFO community, right? The real Wayno is here and says, Lou looks like a guy who forgot to remember not to eat bean burrito before the ridiculous, silly Congress hearing thingy. Lou has Duper's delight. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. We need a wackadoo song. Yeah, we do. We do need a wackadoo song, right? And Symbology 101 says, I'm surprised these wackadoos haven't been scammed out of their life savings. Yes. No evidence and no diameter, says Dylan. Yes. And I'm supposed to do, you know, I'm trying to be a good show host. And one of the things I'm supposed to do is remind you that we're a viewer-supported show. Like I said, we read every single super chat. We thank every one of you for your kindness, your generosity, and your support. And 1 second, see if we can't. I'm supposed to remind people, because if you don't ask for support, you don't get it. Tonight, I didn't ask for any support, and I got a ton of support. We're a viewer-supported show. We read every single super chat, every single PayPal pledge. By the way, my thanks, special thanks to Maria for a kind and generous $150 PayPal pledge. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. And Maria says, I can't wait to see what you say about these stupid UFO hearings. Well, here we are, Maria, and thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. Praise the cash big time tonight. All right. And I'm going to take a very, very quick break, but I always have to remind people, 1 second, I got to do this. The show is not over. Sometimes I play this bumper and everybody bounces out. We will return after this short break. All right. And you'll forgive me. This new software is kicking my ass. I thought it'd be an easy migration, right? So the show is not over, friends, and we're going to return after a short break, reminding you how you can help, and also reminding you people in audio podcast land that you should come over here and subscribe and join the live party. I've got some more information to share with you, and I'll be taking comments and questions on the back end. We'll be right back, friends.
Truth Seekers is a viewer-supported show. Wonderful people like you who enjoy this show send pledges in the form of super chats, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, or Cash App. Instructions for how to help are in the description. You can also join our Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month you can get extra content. Patreon supporters get a backstage pass, early access to all our production videos before they are distributed publicly, Stephen Campion's music, private writings, a monthly show journal, and more. You can also become a YouTube channel member for $5 a month. A YouTube membership includes all of the Patreon benefits, plus a special members badge, priority reply to video comments, and the live chat, plus a monthly members-only video. We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, for supporting Truth Seekers. Thank you for your generosity and support. Truth Seekers is a viewer-supported show. Now there's a great way to support these broadcasts and show your support. Please be sure and check out our merchandise store. Links to our 2 merchandise online stores are in the links to this video or podcast. The Amazon storefront ships super quickly in the United States, Great Britain, and in many more places. Amazon may not ship to your country or location. If that's the case, hit our second merchandise link in the description and visit our Redbubble storefront. Merchandise from our Redbubble storefront ships worldwide, but may take longer than Amazon. We've got a great deal of super high quality merchandise for you to choose from, including t-shirts, phone cases, sweatshirts, and even pillows. The feedback from our products have been overwhelmingly great. Quality products and fast shipping. People all over the world are buying some merchandise and showing their support of the show. Praise the cash! Praise the cash! Praise the cash! We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, who are buying some merchandise and helping us to continue this journey. Thanks for being here. This is Truth Seekers with your host, Stephen Campion. Please rate, like and comment on our videos or podcasts. If you are listening to an audio podcast, please rate us 5 stars to help us rise in the search rankings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to an audio podcast, we love and appreciate you listeners, but you are missing the live tapings. All our shows are recorded live with video feed. We'd love you to come be a part of our live broadcasts and tapings for the podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click the search tool, the little magnifying glass, put Truth Seekers, one word in the search bar, and hit enter. You'll see a strange and mysterious guy with sunglasses. That means you found the channel. Go there, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to receive up-to-date info on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to be a part of our live taping and our chat group during the live broadcasts. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. This is Truth Seekers. Truth Seekers.
All right, friends, when we are back, I got to stop my screen and also have to remember to mute during the breaks. Another change in the software, I used to just run the bumper and it would automatically mute the mic. There's a lot of things here that we're getting used to with the new software. And I promise you next week we'll have more bumpers and a little more production, and we'll get the multicam setting going next week. Just had an awfully lot to do this week. I'm not an early riser, so today I had to get up early, watch this, take notes, and then, sort of try to digest this in order to reflect it back to you. I wanted to share this. This is a comedic parody, and it's covered under fair use. This is from Disclosure King, and this is kind of like one of those things that just kind of sums up how I feel about today. And I didn't make it, but Disclosure King did, and we'll share it. And you can follow Disclosure King at Disclosure King. This is Ross Coulthart commenting on today's hearing.
People who are expecting witnesses to tell all, they're really not going to hear it. Because they can't.
People who are expecting witnesses to tell all.
Oh, they're going to tell it all.
They're really not going to hear it.
No, you're not.
Because they can't.
They can't. It's classified. It's all classified, friend.
They can't.
Tell you everything
because they can't. People who are expecting witnesses to tell all. They're really not gonna hear it.
Because they can't.
We're expecting witnesses to tell.
This is the disclosure movement in a nutshell, right?
Because they can't.
Oh, and I apologize. The banner said that that video was by Simon Fly. Most of the music videos we play are by Simon Fly. So I have a banner for him, but not extra goodies. And that came from @Disclosure King on Twitter. Check him out on Twitter, right? And we'll just check into, Kate, who is Mrs. Dark Journalist, says, wow, really total cringe about Nancy Mace selling UFO fucking shirts. Jeez, God. And there's some guy on YouTube still arguing with me. We're going to start a segment called Steve Cambion Reads Mean Wackadoo Tweets, right? This is a mean wackadoo tweet. Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know a fact if it snuck up and bit you. My mind is made up due to easily provable facts. Your mind makes up facts to suit your stories and agenda. And by the way, I challenged that guy 5 times in that Twitter thread. And here's what I always say. Show me on my show where I lied to people. Show me on my show where I provided false information or disinformation or misinformation for money. And see, this is what drives these wackadoos crazy, is because their heroes are grifting, lying scumbags who keep getting caught being grifting, lying scumbags by people like me and many other people. Because it's easy to catch them in a lie. All you have to do is start paying attention, right? And they get so angry with me that they come and they argue with me, or they send me that senator letter from Reid. Harry Reid was involved in a $22 million scam to defraud the public out of taxpayer money to study dino beavers, poltergeists, werewolves, space ghosts, demons. Did I say dino beavers? Smoking dog men and more, and UFOs. So I'm sorry, even if Senator Harry Reid really wrote that letter, and there's substantial and supportive evidence that Lou Elizondo wrote that letter and then just got Harry Reid to sign it, that's not proof when there's something called standards of evidence. So if you have one letter from a senator that says Lou Elizondo definitely ran this UFO program he says he ran, and then on the other side, you've got 3, 4 confirmations from the Pentagon that no, he didn't run that program, and no, he never ran a UFO program, and no, he never had any responsibilities around UFOs for the government. It's in Lou Elizondo's personnel file confirms he did not run a UFO program. He did not have any assigned responsibilities. But if you still want to argue with me, then you're an idiot that does not understand that the standards of evidence. If we were in a court of law and you brought in that Senator Harry Reid letter, first of all, we can show that somebody that worked very closely with this situation in the form of Jay Stratton, his wife is in a Discord saying, I'm sorry that I told people to trust Lou Elizondo. Oh, you know what? We'll show you the tweets. We'll show you those. Because listen, Jay Stratton, who ran OSAP and was part of this UAPTF, right? He was involved in all of that. His wife is in a Discord, and Discord members have confirmed that that's her, said that Lou Elizondo never ran a government UFO program as he claimed, and that he wrote the letter that everybody holds up from Senator Harry Reid, and he just got Harry Reid to sign it. So what does that tell you about Lou Elizondo and his claims? If we've got multiple people confirming that worked with him at the time saying he never ran the program that he claimed, right? And we've got more information that's coming in from people close to the situation who say he never ran that program and he, essentially, he wrote that letter for Harry Reid while Harry Reid was dying of cancer, by the way, right? Which means that's a real quality guy. Like, what kind of a person writes a letter for a senator that's dying of cancer who was part of a $22 million scam, in my view, to defraud the American public? He gave that money to his campaign contributor to study his own ranch. But what kind of a guy fakes a letter from a senator or writes it for him, gets him to sign it as he's dying? I mean, this is dirty. And we were talking earlier that in a spaces about how manipulative this whole situation is, right? And like how dark and dirty and shady are these people? How shady is it if you're faking a letter from a senator or you're writing it for him to cover your ass? Just as Lou Elizondo wrote a letter to Neil Tipton saying, I was running this secret portfolio and I'm handing it off to you because I'm resigning, right? And then Neil Tipton's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And Neil Tipton never followed up, never did anything with that so-called sensitive secret portfolio. Never, there's no there. Nothing that Lou Elizondo says turns out to be true, right? But he's sure good at faking shit to cover his ass and pretend he ran a government program. So, sometimes when people argue with me, it's just pointless to argue with them because their minds are made up and they're so dumb that, they just believe the UFO grifting talking points. And I'm not convinced that this person isn't Lou Elizondo. After all, we have confirmation that Lou Elizondo 100% used fake Twitter sock accounts to argue with his critics. So here is from Michelle Stratton, the wife of Jay Stratton, what she said in in a private Discord, but has been confirmed that this was her and she said these things. For transparency, I regret ever telling people to trust Lou because ATIP was not a real program. For starters, he was never the director of, the head of, or the leader of ATIP OSAP. He wasn't involved for almost a decade, as he says. He never did UAP investigations for the government. There is more, but I'm not at liberty to put it out right now. And then she says, this page was about 2010. His name was on it because he gave a piece of info. Did he allow it to be misrepresented or was it the source of that info? And then she says, the letter. Lou himself wrote that letter and got Reid to sign it. Her husband was deeply involved with OSAP and other government UFO programs, verifiably so. Her husband never lied about being involved in or running government UFO programs, but Lou Elizondo did. And here she is, throwing him under the bus, felting Lou Elizondo. The letter, the only proof that he's ever shown. He's held it up. And what kind of an asshole holds up a letter that's fake on national television? Lou Elizondo holds up that letter. Well, here's a letter from Senator Harry Reid confirming my role in this government program I said I ran. Well, here's the truth. And the truth is ugly, and the truth is shady, and the truth is gross, but you deserve the truth. So stop taking the word of the grifters. What you got to learn about this thing is that the deception layers used to create these fairy tales run deep. It's not just one lie or one layer of deception. And, if you get through that layer of deception, now you get the truth. No, the UFO whole scene is, I can't believe I'll quote her. Linda Moulton Howe had a saying that says, the world of UFOs is like a hall of mirrors with a quicksand floor. That I agree with. It's distortions, deceptions, manipulations, and layers upon layers upon layers of deception that these people use to build their false narrative, to build a false reality that they then suck people into. And if you're one of the people that is getting sucked into this false reality, I get it. It's comforting, right? And there's various psychological reasons why people like this shit, and they don't want to believe that their so-called heroes are UFO lying, grifting scumbags, right? And I've often said this, the world of UFOs is filled with Liars, scammers, deceivers, hoaxers, grifters, scammers, criminals, and those are just the good guys, friends. You have to be very careful who you give your belief to. Do they have evidence to support their so-called reality? Or do they have lies and layers upon layers of deception? And I think what we learned today is that Lou Elizondo has nothing but layers upon layers of deception. He has no evidence. If he had evidence, wouldn't he put it in his book? If he had evidence, wouldn't he give it to Congress as he's testifying? He's got shit, except he does have one thing. He has a desire, an incredible desire for one thing, friends, and that is UFO dollars. Lou Elizondo is here for the cash, friends. He doesn't give a shit about you, your experience, whatever. He's here for the money, and that's it. And the fact that some people can't see through these layers of deception is not your fault. We're talking about a professional counterintelligence agent who, by his own admission, said that he was tasked with applying his counterinsurgency, counterintelligence skills into the UFO community. And that's exactly what he's done. And Tim Gallaudet is just another clown that Lou Elizondo recruited for his stupid movement that's gone nowhere and in 8 or 9 years has produced exactly zero evidence. And I don't want to hear this shit from you people. Oh, but we're moving the ball down the field, and this is going to take some time, and there's a lot of investigations we need to do. No, we don't. I don't need to investigate shit. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. And if you are wackadoo enough, like Lou Elizondo, to sit there on national television in front of Congress and say, the government definitely has alien crash retrieved vehicles and alien crash retrieved bodies, then show your proof. Show your evidence. But that's not the way. Their game is, prove us wrong. You guys have aliens. Prove us wrong. No, we shouldn't be wasting taxpayer dollars. It's like if I went to Congress and said, I'm 100% convinced that you guys are hiding unicorns, and you know about the existence of unicorns, and it's a big secret for various reasons, and I demand transparency about unicorns from you. That would be considered crazy. But yet here we are with UFOs, and this is just, it's all okay. How much of this money are we going to waste? We verifiably wasted millions of dollars on these chasing shadows and these evidence-free stories of wackadoos. Shouldn't the burden of proof be on the wackadoo making the claim? Again, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. And not only does Lou Elizondo not have extraordinary proof, he has no proof, no real good verifiable proof. He has a lot of layers of deception, like the John Burroughs. Oh no, people have been injured by UAP and placed on government disability based on their exposure to UAP. Prove it. Where's the paperwork, bitch? But he doesn't have it. The government has alien spaceships, and I'm sure of it. Really? What's your evidence of that? Well, Hal Puthoff told me. But yeah, he's another wackadoo without evidence. Well, Dave Grush told me. Yeah, but he's another wackadoo without evidence. It's one big circle jerk, friends. And I see Yamal ask this question over and over again. Steve, is there a piece of UFO evidence or an incident you find more compelling that is genuinely hard to explain? Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I still can't let go of Roswell being more than what we were told. And that's based on the overwhelming time that I have put into that case. I still can't let it go. Might have been an alien crash landing. And that may be what has caused all of this mythology. All of these stories may have had a seed of truth at Roswell. So I haven't let Roswell completely go, but there are various explanations that are less than spectacular, like it was German space technology being tested, and they didn't want anybody to know about that. Or other secret technology like the Horton brothers flying wings, or other Nazi technology that they may have grabbed right after World War II and were testing. There's a lot of explanations that are more believable to some, more earthly explanations, but I still hold on to Roswell. And until 100% definitive proof, I keep coming back to some of the deathbed confessions around Roswell and people who told their children while they were dying, I saw these alien bodies, we're not alone in the universe. Why would you do that as you're dying? That's always been like a knife in my brain when it comes to Roswell. Arlene Atkins, if the grifter crowd vultured themselves, maybe their resources could be used for real witnesses that actually witness things. Yeah, and that's another thing. Schellenberger said there was 30 or 40 witnesses that were going to come forward and confirm Dave Grush's claims. That was more than a year ago. Where are those 30 or 40 witnesses? And if these 30 or 40 firsthand witnesses really exist, great. Let's get them in front of Congress. Why are we listening to wackadoos tell us trust me bro stories that have absolutely no evidence if those very same people doing the testifying are claiming there's all these people with the evidence? Or is this just one big mirage of bullshit? That's what I believe it is. Billy Hicks, Stephen Cambion and I, as well as his community as a whole, and welcome all wackadoos, so don't take it personal. Yeah, you could be a fun wackadoo. I've talked to some fun wackadoos. My favorite was one of my favorites was that guy, Matt R. We're going to have him back on, Billy Hicks. He claimed that he got taken to an abandoned mall to be trained to do crowd control during Hurricane Katrina by reptilian aliens. That's a fun wackadoo. And the funny thing is I investigated that guy. He really was a police officer, and all of his background checks out, but he says that reptilian aliens in a mall were training him to be like crowd control or something. It's a crazy story. So don't take it personal. We just like to have fun and be entertained. We've all been wackadoos to some extent or another. Very good point to point out, and we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. You literally have someone in your chat with much more credible UFO sighting than these wackadoos. I'm sure I have many people in my chat with much more credible sightings, right? 808, just another DJ. You must have an 808. I love 808s. We just don't know. Only that there are highly advanced craft with seemingly magical properties in our skies. The rest is speculative. I think that a lot of people, just like these things defy the laws of physics. You just did it, 808. You said, there are highly advanced craft with seemingly magical properties. Show me the sensor data that show the magical properties. I just don't see it. And repeating these things, that's another problem. It's like a game of monkey see, monkey do, where people it's a game of telephone. These things defy the laws of physics. You tune into another podcast, a different guy. Well, we can see that these things defy the laws of physics. Tune into the Sean Ryan show. Well, these things defy the laws of physics. Okay, great. Show me the physicists that agree with you. Show me some physicists that agree that these things defy the laws of physics. And if you can't do that, then stop fucking saying that. I'm sick of hearing that with no evidence. It's research by proclamation. I could sit here and say all kinds of shit with no evidence to back it up. But without the evidence to back it up, these repeated UFO grifter talking points are meaningless. Oh, I did have something else to share that's funny as hell. And boy, dude, if you thought that Matt Ford was crazy before, for those unaware, is it Good Trouble? What is it? I don't even know. Oh, yeah, I got him. The Good Trouble Show. He released a video. I wonder if he took it down. No, he didn't take it down yet. So we're going to put our fair use banner back up. Lawyer letters are standing by. That guy doesn't like me. I doubt he's going to like that I'm sharing his video here. Matt Ford of the Good Trouble Show. For those unaware, that's the Lou Elizondo ass-licking propaganda channel, right? What a loser this guy is. He basically has to lie every time he clicks go live to stupid people. So congratulations, Matt Ford. You've grown a huge following in less than a year, I think. His shows, I don't even want to look because it just pisses me off. thousands and thousands of subscribers more than somebody like me who tells people the truth, because he goes and he creates the propaganda. And he's also part of this organization with Lou Elizondo, right? And he's so proud of himself, licking the asshole of Lou Elizondo. Get in there, Matt. Get in there. I mean, lick it clean. Lick it clean, Matt Ford, you ass-licking, boot-licking underling, right? You ever see like one of those movies where like one of the supervillains has like these underlings that are like pretty stupid and like worthless? That's Matt Ford. He essentially just repeats the UFO grifting talking points, and he argues with debunkers who, by the way, actually have evidence, unlike Matt Ford. Oh, it's just beautiful. But so he had a video today accusing members of the government of a vast criminal conspiracy. Remember, it was Lou Elizondo's nutbag followers who were threatening members of NASA, who were threatening members of Aero, intimidating, harassing, and threatening members of the government. And why were those Kool-Aid drinking cult member ass lickers of Lou Elizondo doing that? Because members of the government said these people don't have evidence of aliens. So just like a cult, you got to go attack them. This guy has drank the Kool-Aid, friends.
Chairwoman Mace, Chairman Grothman, ranking members Connolly and Garcia, and members of the committee. My name is Matthew Ford, an American journalist and host of the Good Trouble Show podcast. Today, I'm introducing damning information.
Damning information. And by the way, before he was a UFO celebrity ass licker that co-signed people's lies and lack of evidence, he made propaganda for the Democratic Party. And this guy's so dumb that he was telling people that Kamala was going to win the election by a landslide or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he was a Democratic Party bootlicker. Now he's a UFO celebrity bootlicker. Like, this guy has no talents and no skills. He can't make it on its own. He's a lighting designer. So I'm sorry if I don't believe that a guy who works a spotlight for a theater knows all the truth and inside out of what's going on inside the government. No, this guy's a dumbass.
I'm introducing damning information regarding the former director of the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. I am a patriot who cares deeply about our nation's security, but above all,
he cares so deeply about our nation's security that he was all in with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's open border policy. You see, Matt, you're so dumb. You're so dumb, you don't even realize how stupid the things you say sound. I care deeply about our nation's security. Well, except for those 20 million illegal aliens that Biden and Kamala let in, and including rapists and murderers that killed women in our country. But I care deeply about our national security. You can't do both. So pick one. Which one is it? Do you not care or do you care? Oh, maybe he only cares about national security when it comes to UFOs and aliens, because this dude jerks off to pictures of aliens. I'm telling you right now, he cranks one out to pictures of aliens. He gets his disclosure boner going. He gets the lotion. He gets the tissues, right? And boy, I could say some mean things beyond that about why he has to jerk off to aliens, but I won't.
Care about the truth. In November of last year, journalists...
He cares about the truth so much that he helps UFO grifters sell their fake resumes and their fake evidence-free stories. That's how much he cares about the truth.
Journalists Christopher Sharp,
Christopher Sharp is not a journalist. He's a hack who is constantly wrong, never retracts anything, and is another UFO celebrity ass licker.
Oswell and I published a story in the Daily Mail exposing for the first time the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology's Office of Global Access and its classified UAP crash recovery program.
Alleged. He never used the word alleged. They didn't prove anything. They said, CIA, they're responsible. They're responsible for the alien crash retrievals.
Last weekend, Christopher Sharp published a follow-up article in the Liberation Times.
In his blog. There is no Liberation Times. It's a goddamn website. It's not a newspaper. You people are a joke. And by the way, if this was real news, wouldn't it be on CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS? No, it's on this guy's Twitter page and nowhere else. No one picked up the story. Nobody cares about the story because the story is fake from a couple of wackadoo Lou Elizondo UFO ass lickers. That's what we're getting here.
Providing further detail on how the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology operates its UAP crash recovery and reverse engineering programs through the Office of Global Access and the CIA's Counterproliferation Mission Center, or WCPMC. The head of the Directorate of Science and Technology serves as the primary gatekeeper of the entire UAP Deep Legacy program.
Oh, I think this guy's going to live to regret this shit. Listen, if somebody's a high-ranking CIA officer and you're on your public Twitter accusing them of high crimes, including treason, I just want to say in advance, nice knowing you, Matt Ford, you're fucked. You are so stupid, dude. You are so dumb.
Overseeing operations such as the detection of UAPs through classified platforms, recovery operations, disbursement of recovered craft to government agencies and private defense contractors, and protection of derived off-world technologies.
Okay, again, the government has crash retrieval programs, but they're for things like Russian satellites, Chinese spy balloons, Chinese drones. There's no proof whatsoever that these recovery programs have anything to do with alien technology. And I think a lot of these UFO goobers like this loser get that confused. They just hear about a crash recovery program. Must be about aliens.
Glenn Gaffney, the former head of the Directorate of Science and Technology, is one of those gatekeepers. Last year, I revealed that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director of AARO, had assembled a secret technical advisory group to...
It wasn't a secret technical advisory group. Here's what happened. This clown, well, I don't know about this clown directly, but clowns that were in support of Lou Elizondo's fake narrative, verifiable fans of Lou Elizondo, harassed, threatened, and intimidated members of NASA and members of AARO. So Sean Kirkpatrick said, I'm not going to give out publicly the names of the people that I'm working with because they're professionals and I don't want them harassed by lunatics. So the very lunatics that caused him to not be able to release the names of his advisors are now accusing him of a vast criminal conspiracy.
The Council AARO. Following my story, Dr. Kirkpatrick confirmed the existence of this committee to members of Congress, but refused to disclose the members' identities.
And that is because a bunch of lunatics on the internet were harassing him, his staff members, and members of NASA. And what was their crime? Saying, well, we just don't see evidence of alien visitation on Earth.
As of 2 weeks ago, this classified advisory board continues to advise AARO. Multiple sources have confirmed.
Every time you hear multiple sources, that means I made it up. I'm going to wackadoo translate for you. They all do this. Michael Schellenberger, multiple sources. Lou Elizondo, multiple sources. This guy, multiple sources. You know, just once when a guy says multiple sources, I'd like him to then break down what the multiple sources are, but they never do. It's just multiple sources confirm. We've got Simon Fly made a song about it. I'm going to see if I can find it to play us out with the multiple sources song.
AARO. Multiple sources have confirmed that Glenn Gaffney, the former head of the Directorate of Science and Technology and gatekeeper of the UAP Deep Legacy program, was handpicked by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick to be on this advisory board.
By the way, what proof does he have that that person is the gatekeeper or that that person is involved in crash retrieval programs? Oh, that's right. He didn't show us any. Oh, that's right. Oh, shit. Matt Ford, you shit yourself again, right? This guy, every time I look at him, he looks like he's in the middle of shitting himself. He really does.
I must emphasize this. The most consequential person involved with the cover-up of non-human technology is advising the office which Congress has given a mandate to find these technologies. This is an abomination.
Oh yeah, big criminal conspiracy. And what evidence is he basing this big criminal conspiracy on? I still haven't heard any evidence. Have you? Have you heard any evidence of any of these fantastic claims? Not yet. No, not yet.
This is unconstitutional. This is criminal. Also concerning is the fact that,
one thing you'll notice about the true believers is they like to do two things. They like to claim that anybody who is a skeptic or debunks them is a criminal. They all do it. Or they say they're a child predator and a Satan worshiper. Before you know it, they're going to be calling Kirkpatrick and these other guys Satan worshiping P words. I guarantee it. It works. At least other factions have done it, right? Corey Good, David Wilcock, they've all done that. Oh, those people are criminals. They're Satan worshiping P words.
That Glenn Gaffney is not the only Arrow Advisory Board member who is involved with the Legacy Crash Retrieval and Reverse Engineering Program. There are others whose names have not yet been divulged to me.
Oh, God, I hope Stephen Greenstreet gets Sean Kirkpatrick to comment on this bullshit.
These revelations are significant because one of Arrow's primary missions is to provide a means for government whistleblowers to make protected disclosures on classified UAP special access programs, or SAPs, and controlled access programs, or CAPs, to Arrow and its staff. The fact that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick chose as one of his primary advisors the very gatekeeper overseeing CIA-controlled UAP access programs raises serious questions.
But where's his evidence that that person is the gatekeeper? Is this just made up? Like, do you have some documents? Do you have some paperwork to prove that that guy is involved with UAP crash retrieval programs at all? Any evidence? Or is this another one of those somebody told me stories? Somebody told me, so it must be true. Or is this the wackadoo prover maneuver? Another wackadoo, Christopher Sharp from the Liberation Times said it, so it must be true. So again, we have two wackadoos backing each other's claims up, and neither of them apparently has any real evidence.
About Dr. Kirkpatrick's true motives as the director of Arrow. This reporting indicates that Arrow may function as a flypaper operation, intercepting whistleblowers' testimonies and feeding their identities back to the CIA. You have heard that there are whistleblowers who don't trust Arrow.
Oh, now the CIA's involved, right? Oh, the CIA's trying to stop us from getting the truth about those aliens. Boy, this sounds like a familiar plot line. Has anybody else heard this story before? I think I've heard this story before.
My sources have informed me that this is,
again with the sources,
one of the reasons why. If the CIA intercepts their testimony before it reaches Congress, whistleblowers are in grave danger. Therefore,
we're in danger, Will Robinson.
To wield your subpoena powers against hostile witnesses, such as Glenn Gaffney, former PDD&I Stephanie O'Sullivan, and the former head of the CIA's Office of Global Access, Douglas Wolfe.
Wow. I wonder what the people at the CIA think about this wackadoo lunatic accusing them of a vast criminal conspiracy. And Matt Ford, you dumb son of a bitch, man. I don't think they're going to take this too kindly, right? You just put yourself, like, there's a lot of things I wouldn't do. And one of them is put myself in the target of the CIA without adequate, overwhelming evidence and proof of my claims against them. But here we are. This wackadoo lunatic who apparently has no real evidence or proof is just saying this shit. Holy God.
Dozens of whistleblowers are depending on you.
Again, are these the same dozens of whistleblowers that Grush claimed were giving him information? But we're at 530 days since Grush made those original claims and still no evidence that his claims were true. And we still haven't seen any of the 40 whistleblowers he claimed. Remember, this whistleblower word, they love throwing around the whistleblower word. It means nothing like like the textbook definition does to everybody else, because they live in a false reality where a whistleblower can just be somebody with some credentials that says some shit They're a whistleblower. They don't need any evidence to be a whistleblower in this false reality.
I also encourage this committee to subpoena emails between former Senior Intelligence Officer David Grush and Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. These emails contain written evidence that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is not being truthful with Congress regarding his knowledge of classified UAP controlled access programs.
Yeah. Dave Grush was given an opportunity to speak to Arrow. He set up a meeting with them, and then he left them sitting in a hotel lobby, and he didn't show up to the meeting. That's your disclosure boner hero, a guy who makes these fantastic claims. And remember, he's defending a guy here who says alien space monsters are murdering humans on Earth and has no evidence for that. He's invited to give his evidence, even in a classified setting, to Arrow. He didn't show up to the meeting. And the emails confirm that he no-showed. And the emails that he's telling people, the emails are already public between Arrow and Grush. And they prove that Grush bitched out because he doesn't have any evidence of the alien space monsters. They're supposed to be murdering humans, you dumbass.
Thank you for your leadership and for your attention to this urgent matter.
It's not an urgent matter if you don't have evidence. And I just want to play the beginning because I'm pretty sure he calls himself a journalist at the beginning of this.
Chairwoman Mace, Chairman Grothman, Ranking Members Connolly and Garcia, and members of the committee. My name is Matthew Ford, an American journalist and...
He's a journalist now? He's a journalist. He says he's I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist. Wow. He says he's a journalist now. You know why he did that? There's a very important reason he did that. It's a very important reason he said he was a journalist. Because this stupid lunatic dumbass, who, by the way, pushed false conspiracy theories about Wikipedia editing that were proven to be completely and totally false claims previous to this bullshit, right? And who was he using it for as proof for that? A guy who threatened violence against somebody who said Lou wasn't who he said he was at a UFO conference. Yeah. And a guy who had... How many hours was it, Matt? Was it like 8 hours of 8 and 10-year-old girls dancing on his public YouTube page? And the public YouTube playlist was titled something like Sexy Dancing, and it was 8 and 10-year-old girls. That is the level of evidence that this guy is willing to accept, or the caliber of witness he's willing to accept. A guy who has 8 and 10-year-old dancing girls, hours and hours of a playlist of that on his public YouTube, or did it one time. It's titled Sexy Dancing. And now he's saying he's a journalist. And I'll tell you why he's doing that. Because if he gets in any legal trouble now, he's going to say, well, I can't reveal my sources. He's going to claim he has sources. 3 guesses who his sources were. It's the same circle jerk group of the spooky hustlers again, friends. It's one of them that told him this shit. And then manipulated him into being a good dummy and go out and say this shit so that they won't get in any legal trouble. He could. Congratulations, you dumbass. All right. Detective Bloor is here with a kind and generous $5 super chat. Says, new fan of your first casino appearance. Would you mind talking about the guy who got his hand melted off by stinky aliens in the underground base? Just search my channel for Phil Schneider, Detective Bloor, because it turns out that aliens didn't melt his hand off. He cut his own fingers off because he was a mental patient. I guess you didn't get that part of the story, right? Everybody who tells the Phil Schneider story forgets to tell you the part where there's FBI documents that confirm that he was a mental patient. They had to investigate him because he was in possession of radioactive materials that he was sleeping on top of. He was storing them under his bed. Complete and total lunatic mental patient. And he had a rare mental condition that caused him to disfigure himself, including cutting off body parts. So when you see Phil Schneider hold up his fingers, one of or two of them missing, and he says, aliens shot my fingers with a laser gun during a battle with aliens at an underground base, it's a lie. And there's paperwork from the FBI investigation, which we showed on our show here. Shout out to Joe from the Carolinas. Wherever he is, we sure miss you. He's the one who uncovered those documents. Phil Schneider was a complete and total fraud. He wasn't a geologist. He wasn't a scientist, like he said. And he didn't get his fingers blown off by an alien laser gun. He cut them off himself. And there's documents that exist that prove that. So I hope that answers your question. But if you go to my main YouTube channel, hit that magnifying glass and just put Phil Schneider in there, you'll get all of the details, a full on, I think it's a 2-hour plus show, breaking down all the evidence that proves that Phil Schneider is not somebody you should trust. Fake scientist, fake geologist. And many of the people that were booking him at UFO conventions knew that he was a mental patient, but he put asses in the seats. They knew he was lying. They booked him anyway. It's a big club, and I ain't in it, detective. You just don't leave radioactive material sitting on the kitchen table out. Duh. Yeah. Yes, Aaron Flores said, he said all modern jet aircraft had exotic alien metals. Well, that sounds like a wackadoo belief system, right? Oh, God, goodness. So, yes, Sacho says, no way. Yeah. So every time you hear that guy, oh, this guy got in a battle with aliens at an underground base and they shot his fingers off. No. Again, remember what I talked about earlier. There are layers upon layers upon layers of deception that are used to create these false narratives, this false reality. It's not real, friends. It's a deception. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you will be. Gorilla is here making an incredibly good point. Occam's razor. Did a mental patient cut his fingers off, or did he lose them in a battle against aliens? Well, Occam's razor would say a mental patient, a verifiable mental patient, cut his fingers off. And by the way, I talked to several of Phil Schneider's family members and verified that, yes, he was in and out of mental institutions. And there's paperwork also. So we've got multiple sources confirming Phil Schneider's story, complete and total work of fiction, work of fantasy. It's just not real. Vamp Sith says, I thought he lost him in an electrical accident. Still, he wasn't all there. No, he cut his own fingers off. Badge is here and says, with my luck, I will be laughing at the words of a delusional schizophrenic the one time he is telling the truth. Yeah, that's really great. That's really the good point. Like, how many of these people do you have to listen to and prove are full of shit before you say, like, I'm not going to believe any of these people until they start coming up with the goddamn evidence? Bagel Goose is here and says, why would an alien shooting a flesh-melting laser stop at your fingers? Very good point. Billy Hicks is here and says, Stephen Cambion, was it just me? Didn't the FBI documents report Phil Schneider cut off his thumb and 2 fingers, but he still had his thumb? Could have sworn that's what doesn't add up to me. No, I'd have to review it. Look, it's enough to say he cut off his own fingers. Like, when people, this is the kind of shit, Billy Hicks, like, well, maybe he didn't cut off his fingers because they got a detail wrong in the report. I don't know that they did, but, I was in a Spaces earlier and somebody was in there. I'm not going to name him, but True Believer guy. Well, Elizondo could still be telling the truth, even though he lied 29 times that we know of. Like, come on. Maybe hopes, hopes, and possibilities is not proof. Speculation is not proof. Evidence is. And, that's another thing. Track record matters. And if somebody like Lou Elizondo has a proven track record of lying through his teeth to make UFO dollars, then you have to scrutinize every single thing he says. If you get caught lying once, everything you say from then on in should be scrutinized. Provably, and 100%, he lied to the New York Times and Leslie Keane, claiming he ran a funded, secretive, or sensitive UFO program. No, he didn't. So everything he said from 2016 on should be highly scrutinized. And, I am a little disappointed in some people who, sometimes I think, well, that guy's doing great work, but then I see they're willing to sell out as long as it benefits them. So some people do good work, but then, if the grifters shout them out and they get like mentioned on Joe Rogan or included in this UFO thing, then they go, oh, these are good people, congratulations. Bullshit. These people are lying scumbags. And just because you benefit from those lying scumbags doesn't make them any less of a lying scumbag. And so our major takeaway from today is huge claims, still no evidence. Huge claims, still no evidence. How long are we going to wait before you say these people don't have the evidence? Oh, no, Stephen, they're going to go into a skiff and they went into a closed door meeting with these people. No, they didn't. Look at the goddamn video. Before this hearing was even over, these lawmakers were getting up and running out because they had other things to do. They don't care about this, and they sure don't care about you people with these belief systems, right? It's all one big circus. But doesn't that mean Phil wasn't crazy, just odd, if he got the thumb part? Oh, come on, Billy. He cut his own goddamn fingers off. It's in a goddamn FBI report that he cut his own fingers off. Go find it. Show me I'm wrong. Go get me a screenshot of Phil Schneider holding his fingers up, and we'll count how many digits. Then we'll look at the report. Maybe he's not crazy. Maybe he was just a little odd. I'm here to tell you, Billy Hicks, I love you, but don't be a wackadoo. If this man was sleeping with uranium and radioactive materials under his bed, and his family all said he was in and out of mental institutions, then he's a crazy wackadoo and he wasn't in a secret underground base with aliens. Should be obvious. All right. But I love you, Billy Hicks. Try to keep me honest, right? Like, let's find something to trip Steve up on. And that's another thing. It's that little nitpicky shit that's what I get triggered by, this little nitpicky shit. Go watch the whole Phil Schneider episode we did again. There's a mountain of evidence that the guy was a mental patient. I'm not going to argue little particular, minutia. 808, just another DJ, says, I understand your skepticism, but you've locked into the futile search for evidence that is impossible to obtain despite the fact that UAP exists. Well, they're always... people say, what are you saying, Stephen? Are you saying UAP or UFOs aren't real? The government admitted they're real. No, there will always be unidentified things in our skies. Certainly, UAP and UFOs are real. The problem is that everybody that is into this thing, they jump right from the government said UFOs are real to aliens. They didn't say that. They said there's some things in our skies that are unidentified. That's what they have said. Therefore, it's just a leap too far. You can't go straight. Yeah, there are UFOs. There will always be things in our skies we'll be unable to identify. Maybe some kid is making his own drones or powered like kites or powered blimp, dirigibles, lighter than air aircraft. With all this technology out there now, sure, there's going to be things in our skies we can't identify, but you can't jump straight to aliens. Mix Koyat says, there is a reason intelligence and wisdom are two different stats in Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, a wiser thing has not been said here for quite some time. Yeah. Okay, I misread your comment. Then I apologize. I said it doesn't mean he wasn't crazy. Simmer it down a notch. I agreed with you. Okay, all right. Well, even if you disagree with me, I still love you. But, these people drive me nuts on Twitter. Like I sent that dude the screenshots of this Michelle Stratton saying that Lou never ran the program. He wrote that letter himself. I need confirmation that this is really her. Well, I'm not going to go get it for you. So fuck off, like it frustrates me when I give people overwhelming evidence and proof and then they still want me to do that one more step for them. Because here's what happens, Billy Hicks. I'll do the one more step for them, and then they'll come back for me to do something else to prove my point. Like at some point, prove me wrong. How about that for a change? No, I know you were just trying to get me. Listen, I'm fine with that. For those unaware, you can always put your comments or questions for me in all capital letters, but sometimes I get distracted. I'm my own producer. I'm running the show. I'm sharing the screen. I'm running the bumpers. I'm talking, and I can miss the comments that people want me to comment on. So you're always free to just every once in a while just put that question back in caps, and I'll get to it, right? Luis Camus is here and says, why does Wilcock use the same thumbnail on every live stream? Because he's a lazy slob. The guy works like 3-4 hours a week and makes thousands and thousands of dollars. You want him to take 20 minutes and make a new thumbnail too? Come on, man. Right? King of Hugo Mundo. Oh, you got it. You got 2. All right. I always sit through all the ads in case you make anything off of them. Well, thank you, Sunlover 5000. And Dylan says you're just passionate, bro. Yeah, I really, really care about this topic. And I've been following it for so long that I'm kind of stuck in this rabbit hole. But I'm trying my very best to see what we can do to get people who are unfairly trapped in the false reality or the rabbit hole out of it. And I'm passionate about that. And here we go, another member. Yeah! Sweet Papa Stovepipe just became a member. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. There's probably a couple hundred members videos. And that's what I want to say, too. Please become a member. It's a couple bucks a month, but there's a storehouse of members videos, and you get them all, even if you, in other words, if you become a member today, you get all of the members videos going back to when we started the members program, which is a couple years ago. You don't just get them from when you become a member. So there's some great benefits there, and it helps us keep the show going. Arlene Atkinzel, longtime show supporter, says the disclosure grifters are actually preventing real disclosure, whether it is natural, government experiments, secret tech, etc. People are experiencing something. Yeah, I get that, right? And Billy Hicks says, don't worry, I'm not going to be nitpicky as fuck. If there's a hole, no matter how, I'm going to find it and poke through it. Yeah, I get it. That's fine. Aaron Flores is here. Phil Schneider said millions of people have been killed in battles with aliens underground. Yeah, there's your second sort of clue that he's a nutcase and not a real good source of information. Dylan, can we get some membership stickers someday? Absolutely. I will work on that just for you. And Yamal, are you familiar with Project Mogul? Yes. Just go to our main channel, hit the magnifying glass, the search tool, and search Roswell. We did something like, 24 or more hours of content on Roswell. We interviewed every Roswell expert, Roswell author, Roswell very well-known Roswell researcher, including all the guys that wrote the Roswell books. I interviewed Stanton Friedman and Tom Carey, and I'm forgetting all their names, Kevin Randall, Don Schmidt, but we also had Walter Bosley, alien scientist, Cal Korff, and a bunch of other people all involved with Roswell research for many, many years, and we put them all together. So, yes, I'm very familiar with Project Mogul. So, my friends, I think we've done our due diligence. I want to thank our panel members. Hey, we tried. I'm going to see if I can't figure out what the problem is with people joining the panel, because when I have a single guest, everything works fine. Suddenly we have a panel and nobody could hear. But I do want to say something. Listen, if you're going to be on the panel, please do it from a decent setup. Like if you're on your phone and you don't own headphones, it's not a good thing to join the show, because you may have technical problems, and then it makes me think that it's on my end. I'm just saying, I don't mind if it's truly a problem on my end, but I don't know that when people are joining on their phones or joining without headphones, and then, oh, it's echoing. Yeah, it's going to echo without headphones. I can't help you. What do you believe about Roswell after all the research you did? Well, most of the research that I did involved reading all the books of the authors, and then I interviewed them to try to drill down on some things. And like I said, Roswell's the one that I can't let go of, thinking it may have been an alien crash landing for one reason or another, right? Yeah, I'll try to do better. Yeah, it's like the thing in the beginning, though. Like I try to be very patient, but when somebody's telling me you have a problem with your microphone, and I know it's not on my end, right? I get so mad when because I don't want to go live and then my microphone's all screwed up, but I was pretty sure it wasn't, and then that screwed up the start of the show. We got a lot of technical glitches tonight, but the positive side is, I always say this, we're a live show. You get the show, warts and all. And it's a live show. Weird shit's going to happen. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So we've done our due diligence. I was going to try to find that Simon Fly Sources song, and we'll play us out with the sources. Multiple sources, friends. Let's see if I got. I'm looking at Simon Fly's list. Okay, I got the multiple sources song. So we've done our due diligence, friends. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And I want to thank you all for the super chats and the PayPal pledges and the new memberships and you people buying memberships. Tonight has been an incredible night of incredible support. I'm so thankful for it. We were kind of in a valley for a while, but now we're heading back to a peak, higher viewership, higher support. And I'm here to tell you, I've got a lot in store for next week. We've got a bang up week coming together. I don't know if we'll do another live show. Hopefully, before the week is out, we will. But I'm going to the cabin early. It's the last couple of weekends that I can get anything done outside at the cabin. Another couple of weekends, and it's going to be white and freezing cold for about 6 months. So there's a rush over there to get the firewood stacked and the kindling cut and everything ready for winter. I'm hopeful I'm going to get some things done this weekend, but I'm going to try to get in another show. Always be sure to follow me on Twitter at Stephen Cambion, because we pre-announce all of our live events. So usually a few hours before the show begins, I tweet it. I am going to... oh, wait a minute. I have to stop that one. We're going to leave us with an excellent music video that is by Simon Fly. So I'll put that banner up. That one we do have, that this is a comedic parody. Lawyer letters are standing by to defend against any false copyright claims. These people do not like... Some of these people do not like us using their clips to make fun of them, but we do it anyway. Well, I should say Simon Fly does it anyway, but we're happy to share that with you. So every time you hear somebody say multiple sources, they all do it. And if you need any more proof, I'm going to share that with you. 1 second here. Oh, there we go. 1 second. So I've done my best to try to break down. I'm sure that I've missed a lot of things. We could have went over maybe we still will, but I doubt it. We could go over everything that was said, but most of this UFO hearing can be summed up with huge claims, still no evidence, right? Or very bad evidence, as we've seen that these guys just use other wackadoos to back up their claims. Doesn't mean it's true, but it sounds good. Well, it's a game. It's one big circle jerk, one big self-licking ice cream cone, one big circle of confirmation, one big echo chamber. And I'm here to try to break you out of it. You can't believe anything these guys say. But best of luck to you if you think. It's another point that I'd make to leave you with. If you think that you're going to get the truth about aliens from a bunch of people that we can demonstrably prove have been lying to you over and over and over again, then I've got a bridge to sell you and some oceanfront property in Arizona, right? You got to use a little bit of brain power, logic, and common sense when dealing with these people. So that's all I got for you, friends. Thank you so much for the support, and we had great attendance tonight. Happy to see it. Be sure to smash the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you'll know when we're doing a live taping. And if you're listening on audio podcast land, we love and appreciate you, but you're missing half the fun. Go on over to YouTube, hit that magnifying glass, put Truth Seekers, one word in the search bar. Look for me, the strange guy with sunglasses. Go there, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you too will know when we're doing a live broadcast. So, and I also want to thank Simon Fly for the excellent music videos. I'm glad we're going to be playing more of them. I think he's going to be making more of them. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Multiple sources.
Sources.
Sources. Sources.
Multiple sources.
Multiple sources.
Sources.
Sources. Sources.
Multiple sources.
Sources. Sources.
Multiple sources.
Sources. Sources.
Multiple sources.
It has been disclosed from multiple sources that there are captives of extraterrestrial origin.
Multiple sources.
It has been disclosed from multiple sources that there are captives of extraterrestrial origin.
Multiple sources.
Some incredible sources.
incredible sources. Some incredible sources. Some incredible sources. Sources. Multiple sources. Sources. Multiple sources.
Multiple sources.
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 Multiple sources.
Multiple sources.
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 Multiple sources.
Behind the scenes with
multiple sources.
Sources.
David Rush. Behind the scenes with
multiple sources.
Sources.
David Rush. Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show.
Sources.
Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show.
Sources.
Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show.
Sources.
Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show. Go to Trouble Show.
Sources.
And biological. One source. And biological. One source. And biological. One source. And biological. One source. And biological.
Sources.
Source.